Is there anyone who would like to acknowledge that we know in our community?
I'm sorry, I got you.
Live in our community or with us who have gone on, passed away for us? I beg your pardon. Buford Evans Senior. Tony Gray. We'll keep those families in our prayers and may we have a moment of silence for prayer. Okay. Madam Clerk, roll call. Present.
Trustee Garner. Present. Clerk Brinkley. Present. Trustee Ford. Present. Trustee Harris. Present. Attorney Gary Morgan and
She's going to make some additional copies.
Consultant Robert Burton.
Consultant Daryl Sears.
That's fine. Got it.
Okay. We're down to item number 4. This is the part of the agenda where we accept citizens' comments. We'd like to keep this down to 10 minutes, if at all possible. We will have citizens' comments again at the end of the agenda. And could you, when you go up to the podium, could you please state your name?
Good evening. My name is Bridget Hall. I'm here to represent the community organization Friends of Roanoke Township. I would like the board to take the statement that I'm about to read for consideration. I also want to submit it to the board as part, just submit it as a written document for the board. Okay? Reportedly, Ferndale School District is considering converting Grant Early Childhood Center from a preschool school age building to serve the young and adult population. Friends of Roanoke Township does not support this action. We understand that this to be an economic issue for the district. However, we believe both qualitatively and quantitatively factors must be considered in regards to our children. Grant Elementary is a community institution which became part of Ferndale School District in 1926 and is a historical school building. Roanoke Charter Township, as a historically black community, has an obligation to preserve the legacy of its founders. As such, this legacy has afforded a variety of opportunities for many township residents and developed notable icons in the arts and entertainment, the fields of arts and entertainment, politics, the judiciary, as well as civic and educational institutions. If you would like to join Friends of Roanoke Township to address these issues, please contact us at 248-229-3027 or FOROT@att.net. And I'd like to leave with this statement. The only thing necessary for injustice to thrive is for good people to stay silent.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Cynthia Stanfield, and I am the director of Zion Community Enrichment Center. So I just wanted to introduce myself as the director of the Zion Community Enrichment Center located here on Rymanville. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm here to help and learn the needs of the community and help in any way that we can.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Ms. Arlene Holmes, and I would like to thank the supervisor for getting that Wyoming fix. And I would like to see if it, would they pass a bill in Oakland County, can you get some money to put concrete down that way? And one more thing, the lawn cutting that they can get that other machine fixed, because that make that look like cake out there. My yard is beautiful, you know, that's just temporary. It's just temporary. Okay, and then, the lady writes the tickets for the homeowners and stuff. Can she kind of get on the job and make sure that the homeowners get their backyard cut and all this stuff off the fence and stuff, you know, write tickets? I know we don't get paid on tickets or nothing, but could she write some kind of tickets to make the residents clean up their area and stuff, because it's making rats and fleas and possums and everything, you know? Or either you can get in your truck and drive around and you can see, you know, by the neighborhood beginning to look. We gotta clean up our neighborhood. So it's more if you don't clean up your neighborhood and stuff, they give you a ticket. And it should be where we could give our residents a ticket if they don't clean up their back or the fence and with the vines and stuff hanging on it. We got a beautiful neighborhood, we gotta keep it clean. And the situation about the water that across from me, where they get that water out, my pipes still like on the bus when they get the water out. So is there anything you can do about that, or could you have them to move down further to get the water? Because if they charging us for that water, because they get a lot of water out of that high. You know, the water is going up so much.
We have someone here that's going to address that tonight, Ms.
Okay.
Okay, and I would like to say, I thank you for acknowledging me on the roads, but I would give that credit to Mr. Ford.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. And one more thing, the property on 8 Mile up there, you know, where the guy wanted to build a strip club, right from the car dealership, across from there, you know, where they, right there at the corner of Myers. Okay, where he wanted to build a strip club, and he done put the land up for sale again. So I guess since he can't build a strip club, he gonna sell the land again. Did you know
You heard
anything
about
about
something about a strip club, that was about 4 years ago or so. Is that what you're talking about?
No, it wasn't no 4 years, it was about 2
Strip
years.
club, when was this?
From the owner.
2 or 3 years ago.
Yes,
3 years ago. No,
Yeah.
that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
This board wasn't going to allow that. That wasn't 3 years ago.
But they put their land back up for sale on the opposite side of his business. Did you know about that?
I saw the for sale sign.
Okay. He walks in the neighborhood and keep up what's going on. Thank you.
Okay. If that's all of this, that all citizens have to stand. Okay. It's on. It's on.
Yes, my name is Juanita Adipodi, and I'm here on behalf of the Charter Township of Royal Oak Library. And I have a couple of questions I'd like to know regarding the emergency manager. We were told that we were governed under that emergency manager law. I would like somebody here to let me know if that's true or not.
Mr. Speakers, who negotiated the consent agreement. Did you have another question?
The other question is that I feel that the township board is undermining the authority of the library trustees. Well, that will be addressed in a couple of letters. In what way? Financially, we're getting direction from Mr. Fletz. And then when we do what Mr. Fletz says, it's coming back to us that we are governed under the emergency management as far as our financing. Also, we have a letter here from Richard Klein. We had a library training at Shanty Creek, and he stated it was okay for us to get a rental car. I in turn got the car with my credit card, paid for the gas with my credit card. Now I cannot be reimbursed. it stated that Mr. Burgess is in charge of that.
First, I would let Mr. Seegers address everything per the consent agreement. He's gonna address it.
About the library, because my understanding, I guess if it's something new, they go with something new where, any, official or employee rent a car and then they be reimbursed. I never heard of that. I mean, I know they probably be reimbursed for mileage. I haven't seen that.
If we wish to rent a car, it doesn't say how we.
And that's one of the library policies that the city board, the township.
This was sent to Richard Prime Treasurer by Janet Frank. Bottom line, he said, if we should never do, and that's what we did. And I wish to be reimbursed.
Library part of the township?
Yes.
Part of your budget?
Yes, they spend their own budget. Yes, but it's not part of
They have your own funding?
Yes.
Separate apart from the general fund?
They have a village, yes.
I'm not really here today to discuss the impact that the consent agreement that the township is under. They have on the library. I'm not familiar at all of the legal relationship between the two of you, as Mr. Morgan has some documents that speak to that. And I would have to review that. But in terms of the township is operating pursuant to a consent agreement that was negotiated between the supervisor and the treasurer, state treasurer. And that consent agreement was entered into pursuant to Public Act 436, which is essentially the Michigan's emergency management statute, the most recent version of the emergency management statute. And under that, the township had four choices that were available to them. One was an emergency manager, one was bankruptcy, another one is called a negotiated mediation option, which not too many people understand. And the fourth was a consent agreement, and that's the option that the trustees here chose. And under that consent agreement, the Department of Treasury has chosen a consultant who serves as deputy supervisor along with the squad. And under the consent agreement, that deputy supervisor consultant has powers. Which powers are also vested in emergency managers. However, that consultant cannot unilaterally exercise those powers without first asking the supervisor to exercise those powers first. Okay? And that's essentially the makeup of the consent agreement and the relationship between Treasury and the township while they're under the consent agreement.
The library board has not been officially addressed. We have anything right. If we are under that agreement, should we have received something in writing?
Well, like I said, I'm not prepared to talk about the relationship between the library and the
they don't wanna pay me my money for renting the car. He didn't have access to a credit card where he could get the car. But his name was on the car as a driver.
Just to be clear, so to the consent agreement, consultant not only has the right, but essentially as the functionary or the treasurer, he has a duty to sit and look at every dollar that's spent in this township. Now, if you're telling me it's township dollars that are going to pay for this particular expense, that probably would be something that's available within his right to look at. That's why he's here now. I haven't met him yet. I've spoken to him.
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think it was speaking to the supervisor, she probably would agree with that.
If you come with me, we'll set up a meeting and we'll do that. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Seegers. We're going to move down to item number 5 on the agenda, which is the agenda. Board, you've had some time to look at your agenda. Are there any changes, which I do have a couple myself? Changes that I would like to make is item number 8, which shouldn't have been an 8, which should have just been consultant up under the supervisor. But I would like to move that to the head at the top of the supervisor. And every item there under it was basically, it said consultants recommendations. It should be an item under consultant representative. He has to go under, so it doesn't have to be an item on the agenda. But I would like to move him to the top of under supervisor. Yes. Yes. Well, actually, I just had consultants recommendations, but yes, it will be A, B, C, and everything has dropped down. Up under, what you now have is A, which has become D, where I have approved and disapproved the 2014-2015 water and sewer disposal rates. I did do, Mr. Conley, I should have had the, each, amend each resolution separately. Okay, so we would like to have, instead of the 2014-2015 water and sewer rates, we'd like to have one as the resolution for the water rate, and then another for the resolution for the sewer rate. The way that you had yours up under, that's the way it should be. Under supervisor. Instead of, let's just leave A, B, and C the same. And let's just move consultant up under supervisor. And have it as I had it on the agenda, which said consultant's recommendations. And then you have his. Then you start with supervisor. But the way that I originally had it, for A, which is yes. Like, yes, now.
Hey, use your mic. Hey, you all speak up. Oh, you cut the fan off.
Any more additions?
Can y'all hear me out there?
No.
No. On the supervisor, which is seven, it's gonna start out seven A, B, C. That will be the first thing on the agenda. Okay? After that, would be the regular line item, which would be D, E, F, G, and so forth. For 7D, supervisor, 2014, 2015 water and sewer rate, we're going to do that separate?
Yes,
Or are we
we'll
going
do
to do
one,
that?
yes, we'll do one
Okay,
as the, amended water rate and one as the amended sewer rate.
Okay,
So that's D and E, that'll be D and E, and thereafter every month.
okay, so D would be resolution for water rate or sewer
It
disposal?
doesn't matter. D, let's do D water,
D water.
E sewer. It's going to say this. It will say approve, disapprove a resolution to amend water supply rates. That's D. E would be to approve or disapprove a resolution to amend the sewer disposal rates. Yes. Did we get a copy of this?
And up on the trustee, I'd like to have received a file letter from the planning commission for work position at 21272 Midville Recreation. I received a file letter from the planning commission for completion of work that was done at 21272 Midville Recreation Center. BC. D, I received and file election minutes for March 25th. Trustee, yes.
That, we have that up under, that's already,
Got it. Got it.
I have a couple of items. From the trustee, item E, to discuss the future of Grant School. Item F, to remove from table March 22nd, 2014, to approve or disapprove a resolution that we turn.
okay, so D is to discuss the future of grad school. E is to what?
E is to remove from table, to approve or disapprove, and return the bill back to the judge.
Remove from table.
Five.
Item five. And that's E and F.
That was to approve or disapprove, returning the bill back to the judge, the resolution.
Anything else for it? Okay. We have, may I have a motion to approve the agenda with the additions?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the agenda
Aye. Any nays? Motion carries.
Okay. Down to item number 6, the minutes. To approve, disapprove minutes from regular meeting dated May 22nd, 2014. You've had a chance to review them.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the May 22nd minutes with necessary corrections.
It's been moved by Ford, supported by Carter to approve the May 22nd minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays? Motion carries.
Item number 6B, to receive and file minutes from the election commission meeting dated March the 25th, 2014. And item number 6C, to receive and file minutes from the election commission meeting dated May 19th.
I'd like to make a motion that we receive and file minutes from the election commission meeting dated March 25th and May 19th, 2014. And the state correction that we did.
The motion to receive and file, supported by, motion by Carter, supported by Ford.
All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carries.
Down to item number
You ain't do
7.
that yet. You ain't got to do that. You did that song.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to announce our consent agreement consultant who carries the title of deputy supervisor, Mr. Robert Burgess. Mr. Burgess is here to speak to you and to, I believe, show us some type of projection on his findings that he's been here now for about 2 weeks. So, Mr. Burgess, if you'd like to step up to the podium or however you want to do this, I'm not quite sure. The ball is in your court.
Yeah, we have a few slides. And before we start, I'm pleased that
When you're ready, I'll get the lights.
I'm pleased that the officer is here. Don't you leave while I'm up here.
You'll be there till the
Good, I feel more comfortable now. I don't care. I just want him to stay through my presentation. That's why they call it.
Push that cord back to that wall.
Okay. Okay. So, let's just start out with the plain blunt truth. You don't vote me. I do. So let's just deal with that right up front. That's understandable. You don't want someone to be sent to your community to has the authority to do certain things, and it all will be lawful. However, we have some serious issues here that someone has to deal with. So let's start dealing with it. First, I'll introduce myself. I'm Robert Burgess. I was born in a small town in southeast Georgia. Lived there for 16 years. I think your population is 2,500. You see my population. Right. So I've been around small towns before. I came to Indianapolis after attending school in Savannah, Georgia. And I worked in the automobile industry for more than 30 years. Since retirement, I was a consultant for an automotive supply company in Syracuse, New York. The year I was there, we had a snowfall of about 130 inches. Time to get out of there. I worked for the city of Detroit for 3 years in unpaid capacity. When Mr. Orr, the emergency manager, came, he brought his own people with him, so really was not interested. I can't say that. But we didn't have an awful lot to do. So I went over to Camp Tramick and worked there as an unpaid volunteer. And on May 13th, I was asked to come to Lansing, and the treasurer's office asked me to be the Royal Oak Township Consent Agreement Consultant. I said yes. My wife was ecstatic because I accepted pay. Hello. So my salary is paid by the state. I am an employee of Royal Oak Township. That's according to the consent agreement. I get my check from the Royal Oak Township, then they send the bill to Lansing, and Lansing reimburses the township. Now, we have a budget from the state, and we are going to bring on 1 to 2 additional individuals, because there's a mountain of paperwork that we are required to fill out for the state. I have talked to a number of you during my 12 days, and I can boil everything down to 3 different responses that I received. One of them is that we need a leadership in the community. These are my evaluations. This is what you have told me, or the people. Maybe not. The second one is bring the community together. And the third one is that the board needs to get along with each other and work for the good of the community. I'm just a reporter here. That's what I was told. During my 12 days here on site, starting May 27th, as I have looked over the financial reports and what have you, I think that the township, a problem, about 65% financial, and about 35% of relationships. That number could change after I speak with more of you, but that is my opinion of where we are at this time. Let's start talking about financial stability. I'm not absolutely sure all these numbers are correct, but they are ballpark. And it shows that in 2014, the township will end the year with about $35 or plus $1,000. And that is primarily because of the police expenditure. Okay. I was told on Monday that the state police want to discontinue, not discontinue because they have a constitutional duties as a last resort, but the state police have problems too. And they want us to have a plan by September 1st as to when the township can stand on its own feet. Now, in the consent agreement, the date is November the 30th, where we are mandatorily required to have an exit plan for the state police. We have it was suggested that we pull that up. Because the state police would have made plans of their own as well. And as far as the eyes can see, we have a deficit in the township. Now, in order to fix that, we have two tools that we can work with. One is that we have an increase in our revenue. We can get more money for the township. And secondly, we can decrease expenditures. It's no different than your household. Second job or what have you to make more money, or you cut out some of the things that you do. Not real difficult. So my challenge to the board and to the citizens is that to pay for some of that future red ink that you just saw, is that wherever, and we're going to get our hands on the exact number in the next week, whatever that number happens to be, we tighten our belts and come up with $200 additional $1,000. That way, we can start paying into the next year. Or next year, we will tighten the budget, and we will get rid of all that red that you see. It's going to take an awful lot of work for us to do that. Okay? The way that we are going to start, and this is right out of the consent agreement, page 1, is that we're going to start revisiting the procedures for cash control and cash management, including the procedures for timely collection, securing, depositing, balancing, and spending, and all of the other responsibilities that come right out of the consent agreement. We are going to make it very difficult to spend money unwisely. Okay, belt tightening resolution number 1. I have put forth a recommendation to the supervisor that a letter go out under the supervisor's, over the supervisor's signature, saying that it is the policy of the township that we're going to pay our bills within 30 days after receiving a proper invoice. That's just kind of the way that business is done. You pay your credit card, you pay your mortgage, you pay your house payment, you pay everything on 30 days after you get it. So that's resolution number 1, a belt tightening, that I have asked the supervisor through the board in order to implement. Number 2 is that we are going to require that before any money is spent, dime, is that a requisition be filled and pre-approved by either the supervisor or myself before any purchase is made. And when you get the approval from supervisor or myself that yes, we will buy this, you have to drop that ticket off by the clerk's office, and when the invoice come in, the clerk will marry the invoice and the prior requisition that was completed. And if we don't get that, we're not paying the bill. Next. And then number 3, if we ran a credit score on the township, it probably would be like, well, probably wouldn't be very good. We are going to pay our bills And we're going to do it in an orderly fashion. So every month, the treasurer's office, clerk's office, myself and the supervisor will go over all of the bills, and we will bring to the council a listing of bills that we can pay. We've made budget adjustments and what have you, and a second list of bills that we can't pay because of whatever. No money would be one. We tried to get that ready for tonight's meeting. We were not successful, but from this day on, with the council approving the belt tightening number 3, that's the way it will come to you. Now, when I said you don't want to be here, if you look in the 18-page consent agreement on page number 1, it says that we are to construct a financial and operating plan that shall have the objective of ensuring that the township is able to provide a cost to governmental services essential to the public health, safety, and welfare, and assure that physical accountability of the township is in a timely manner. That is what I was sent here to assist you and work with you to do. So we can say a lot of things about the consent agreement, but I don't think there's anyone in this room who disagrees with the objectives of it. So the things that we do, the budget that we prepare, it shall be for the good of public health, safety, and welfare. Now, there's not one person that can do this, not 10 people that can do it. We need the entire community to pitch in, and let's all work together. Let's identify where the rocks, so to speak, are hiding. Let's lift them up, find the solution. Any questions now about anything?
Is the consent agreement a private, consent agreement a private issue? Can people have copies of?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Well, you don't know till you ask.
Oh, no, no,
Then you
absolutely.
know, yeah,
Absolutely.
but I want,
Absolutely.
that's why I'm asking the question.
It is on the internet. Everything about what the state has done to Royal Oak Township is on the internet. It's on the state treasurer's office. Yes. Yes.
That's the agreement between us and the state, right?
That's right. That's right. Now, I knew very little about Royal Oak Township when the consent agreement was signed. So someone authored it, agreed to it. I'm just here to carry it out. I'm trying to do that.
Can I say one?
Sure.
In some areas on your presentation, you had charted, but I have a real, I want to make sure I chart it all the way. Not just part, Royal Oak Township.
Charlotte,
Charlotte.
thank you very much.
I have a question.
Sure.
And with,
Sure.
okay, for when you said for spending for each department and making sure that only necessary things will be, is that,
You can't talk. You
I'm
can't
sorry.
hear you.
When it comes to spending, did that, go for all departments?
Everything that comes through for Royal Oak Township. I know you have your own budget, but we're all in this together.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
All in this together.
Let me ask you a question. I think somewhere,
The mic to you, Bob.
I think somewhere in one of the meetings, it was discussed that township would be able to pay off the sheriff's department. I think this year, do you feel that that will happen?
They're paid off already. They were paid off in March.
Paid off.
Okay, first you stated that a requisition is needed.
Yes.
I want to know, have you received this requisition?
No.
Okay.
In fact,
So it was been submitted to you. Okay.
it has not yet gone into effect. We can't start that until we move forward.
What part of the agenda?
Excuse me, it's gonna be right now. I'm gonna, say that, citizens, thank you for your questions. Mr. Burgess did put a letter out to each and every home here that, if you wanna talk to him, his office, your office is open Monday through Thursday. You meet with citizens anytime. Yes, yes. So, thank you, Mr. Burgess, and we will get off with the agenda. Yes.
And you talk about us being here help 10 years.
Mr. Burgess, I have a question I'd like to ask you right quick. And this is, in reference to what you were speaking on, about the tightening, belt tightening,
Yes, sir.
with that in mind, are you gonna sit down, I mean, I got some different data about the state police that, you said you got some, information as to when we would have a date as to when we would be, bringing our own department out, and then if not, then are you gonna sit down with this board that we can come up with maybe, extended plan, let them know, okay, and we're working on this matter, this is what we're, what?
We'll be happy to do that. Anytime.
Can I speak on that? And Mr. Seegers, if you want to elaborate, or either Mr. Morgan is also. I was the one, Mr. Seegers and I negotiated this agreement. Where you got September 1st from, I don't know. It clearly states in the consent agreement that we have to have a plan in place by December 31st. It's in writing, so I don't know where this came. He told me that Mr. Klein told you, but I don't know where Mr. Klein got his information from, because it clearly states that you have to have a plan in place by December 31st as it relates to police. It says a plan, not so much the removal, but a plan in place.
The agreement says November the 30th, when you have to have a plan in place. I moved it to September the 1st.
Excuse me, Mr. Seegers. Because, we have some things in writing, that we negotiated, and you weren't even there, Mr. Burgess, so
Madam Supervisor, the date is September 1st.
Mr. Seegers.
There was an initial date, and Mr. Morgan probably help me with this, but sometime, I'll say sometime in the summer, that initially the state wanted state police, when I say the state treasurer wanted the state police, essentially out of Royal Township. We were able to negotiate that back to November 30th. And I think by November 30th, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe by November 30th, we have to identify what the alternative plan is. And then I think by January 1 is when the plan has to be implemented. And that was a significant point of negotiation. This is the first time I'm hearing today about this unilateral change in the contract. The contract specifically indicates that any terms are to be changed in the contract, that it has to be done by mutual agreement of the parties. And I'm not aware of the trustees here that have agreed to that. But I'll address it with the lawyer for treasurer.
Since that question was brought up, verbal, like I said, he made that decision. And again, based on what I read, my consent agreement, it said one thing, and then Murray said something different. Okay, my only concern is that, again, police might be educated. Then what time, because this is what, this is June now. Okay, so we got these belt type of situations to take care of. What room is left for us to work on the plan for the
I will raise these issues.
He will, he will let me know, Mr. Seegers, he'll let us know by sometime today.
That's all right, Bob.
Thank you. Okay, board, let's get on with the agenda, please.
We'll take care of it.
Down to, item 7A. To approve or disapprove a resolution concerning payment of supplies for the Charter Township of Royal. Board, you've had a chance to go over the resolution. Do you need me to read it to the citizens? Okay. This is one of the resolutions that was proposed by our, consultant to myself. I agree with it. So, it says, whereas a finding of a financial emergency within the Charter Township of Royal Oak has been made and confirmed by the state of Michigan's Department of Treasury and Government. And whereas pursuant to the terms of the consent agreement negotiated with the Department of Treasury, the consent agreement consultant recommends making a change concerning the payment of the township suppliers to make better use of the limited resources of the township. Now therefore, effectively immediately, we approve and adopt the following procedure for the payment of all suppliers of the Charter Township of Royal Oak. That henceforth and until a superseding resolution is passed or the consent consult agreement is terminated, the township will pay its suppliers 30 days after receipt of a valid invoice, and a letter signed by the supervisor shall be sent to all suppliers advising that this bill and payment policy is in effect immediately. Board, may I have a motion to approve or disapprove the resolution concerning payment of suppliers? I move that we approve the resolution concerning payment of suppliers for the Charter Township of Royal Oak. It's been moved by Reed, supported by Harmon, to approve the resolution concerning payment of suppliers.
Ford,
No.
Owen, Carter, Squaw,
Yes.
Thurman, yes.
Excuse me, we can't really hear.
Yes, I voted yes.
Go there, vote.
Then, Ford voted no.
That's right.
Owens voted no. Squalls voted yes. Ms. Thurman?
I said yes.
Thurman, yes.
Reed said yes.
Reed?
Yes, motion carried.
Did, Harmon? Voted yes.
This is the important issue,
Can you all share that mic? Or speak a little more loud? Okay, item number 7B. To approve or disapprove a resolution concerning the purchasing procedure for the Charter Township of Royal Oak. Basically, it's the first 2 or 3 paragraphs says the same thing, except for the last one says, furthermore, anyone making a purchase request must complete the official Charter Township of Royal Oak purchase requisition form and place it in the drop box in the clerk's office. Pretty much what he explained on the slide. So, board, you've had a chance to go over the resolution. May I have a motion? I move that we approve the resolution concerning the purchasing procedure for the Charter Township of Royal Oak.
Support.
It's been moved by Reed, supported by Thurman.
Thurman, yes. Ford, Owen, Carter,
yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Squaw,
Yes.
Blakely, yes. Motion carried.
Okay. Item number read, a resolution concerning payment of invoices. Pretty much what Mr. Burgess has said, 30-day policy for all invoices coming into the Charter Township will be paid within that 30 days. Board, you had a chance to go over it, may I have a motion?
Do you have resolutions for all these, Mr. Burgess?
It's been moved by Reed, supported by Thurman,
But she,
to approve the payment of all invoices, resolution.
They don't be all night. Yeah, that's
Make a motion that
Motion been already? Thurman? Yes. Owens? Harvey?
Yes.
Swan?
Yes.
Reed?
Yes.
Ford? Yes, motion carried. You said yes.
Item number 7D, to approve or disapprove. A resolution, for the amended water, supply rate. We have Mr. Conley here from, Oakland County Water and Sewer.
Thank you, Supervisor Saul.
Yes.
yeah,
Good
it's open.
evening. My name is Keith Harley. I'm from the Oakland County Water Resources Office. I'm here tonight to talk about fiscal year 14-15 water and sewer rates. The basic rate calculation is pretty simple. You take a look at the cost to operate and maintain your water and sewer systems, and we divide by the amount of sales that you would have in your community. That equals basically an MCF rate per MCF, which is 1,000 cubic feet. So for the water rates, I apologize I don't have copies for everybody here in the audience, but if I could talk to the volume a little bit. It's one of the items that we struggle with when we develop our rates, is what's happening with the sales in the system. So although the trend over time over the last 10 years has been steady decline, and we haven't bottomed out yet. We're starting to see in other communities the same trends occurred the last 10 years, but they've started to level out. We're still on a downward decline right now. So as an example, last year, when I forecasted the water sales for your community, I based it on 13,000 MCF. We actually only sold 11,227,000 MCF. So we're short already almost 14%. So we're trying to make revenue numbers, but we can't because we're not selling enough, which is causing problems. That's why the rates are increasing. So for fiscal year 15, one of the driving factors in the rate increase, that I'll talk about here shortly, is the fact that the volume is still declining. So basically what I've done is I've lowered my volume projections to match what we sold last year. When I take a look at your operating expenses, now that includes the purchases from the Detroit Water and Sewer Department, so the amount of water that you purchase.
So you're saying it's gonna be 31 a month, but sewage is, you were telling us.
I will tell you sewer here in a minute, it's much higher. I mean, not the increase, but the absolute dollars are greater.
Right.
And so that $1 million is just based on one unit, so I have to actually take a look at your bill to see how many units you're using. We do bill minimum here in Royal Oak Township, so a minimum customer has about 0.7 MCF. The average user is about 1 MCF, so that equates to $30 a year.
Yeah, it's like everybody's on the same plan, even though if they may not use that much water, they still paying the same amount.
to a certain degree. So at the 1.6 units, 1.6 units is the minimum charge that we charge. So you will get charged at. Everybody gets charged at, even if you use something less than that. And that's to cover the operations, the maintenance expense, and the system itself. Those are essentially the fixed costs that, although we try to control, they're not variable to the system, so they don't go up and down with water sales. They're fixed throughout the entire system for the entire fiscal year.
So are you saying, when do those monthly bills, the bills are going quarterly to monthly, right?
Yes, and one of the big reasons that we're going monthly billing is because, as you may have heard, Detroit Water Sewer Department, they also went to monthly billing on the sewer side. And in order to meet our cash flow in the system, we also need to go to monthly billing.
Okay, what day?
It'll start July with flows July 1st. You won't be billed until, depending on when they read the meter, sometime towards the end of that month.
Okay, so a minimum bill with water and sewer together is $95 a month.
A minimum bill, hold on one second, would be $74 per month. So it's based on a minimum bill. Let me correct myself. 1.6 MCM was the minimum when we were on quarterly billing. We're now going to monthly billing. So I divided by 3, so now it's 0.7 minimum charge. So 0.7 of the $30.14 that you have in front of you. Yep. So it's $21 on the water side.
So is it gonna go up over $200 or $300 for monthly instead of being $172 for 3 months?
No, I mean your bill. I mean if it was if it's $65 per month, you multiply that by 3,
Right.
and that's roughly where you are from a quarterly standpoint. It is going up at $2.80. So if you compare it to last year's bill, you use the exact same amount. Your water bill would be $2.80, $3, almost $9 for the quarter. So the next couple slides here are related to the sewer rates. Again, we struggle with the same issue here. The volume of the system continues to decline, so there's not as much water going into the system. And again, if I look at 2013, I projected that we'd be in the neighborhood of 13,000 units. We actually only sold 11,000 units. So again, the system is short. I can't cover my expenses. And I can't continue to do that year after year. Sometimes we have fluctuations due to weather, some other related items, but this has been a continuous decline. Hopefully we will start to level out here and use about that 11,000 mark for the year. So overall, that was a 15% decline in water sales.
So, a lot of residents, if they don't water their grass, if they're gonna save, because you have to cover your costs. If you don't cover your expenses, then you have no choice but to work on the grass.
Well, if they don't water, I'm still going to charge them the minimum.
Right.
So the minimum still gets charged.
That's what I learned last year.
So if they do water and you cover your minimum number of units that you need per year, then the increase in revenue that year may not be substantial.
Right.
So
I mean, it's a balance, right? I mean, it's a balance of what you sell and what you use. I mean, there's some other components in there too. I mean, because the age of the system is older, there's a lot of leaks in the system. So from the sewer side, which is the dollar amount that costs a lot more to operate and maintain, and there's infiltration that gets into that sewer line because there are cracks, because the system is old, and that still gets treated by the system, so you pay for that. So there's a combination of a couple factors there that are driving the cost on the sewer system. It's not just in relation to how much you use. If it rains a lot, it's a combined system here. If it rains a lot, that water gets into the sewer lines, and it still gets passed through down to the GWK drainage district, treated there before it goes on to DWSD. So there are some other factors in there too, besides just not using.
Well, other cities have increased, they will have an increase in their rates also, right?
Across the board, pretty much the Detroit
Will
Water
it
Sewer.
be as high as our rates, or will it be similar? Same percentage?
There's a couple communities that are in the neighborhood of you, of Royal Township. They're probably one of the higher ones.
And that's due to the fact that the volume now is, for the other communities, it's leveled out. Your volume is still decreasing. We're trying to get to that point where we level out so that we don't have these huge increases. Everybody as a whole from the Detroit Water and Sewer Department received approximately 4% increases on their water and sewer. So that was standard.
What would get us to level out?
Well, it's kind of the collaborative, effort of the city and the residents themselves. So I mean, if this is a stable, if last year was a year that represented kind of status quo of where everybody is for volume, and people are going to only water every other day, and they're going to flush their toilets, and they're going to take showers, they're going to take shorter showers, and so now we've kind of leveled off what we're doing. Real hot, weather plays a factor. So when it's really hot, you tend to use more water. You might sprinkle more. There are other factors. In cool weather, you don't use as much water. So all those variables play an impact there.
I heard, this was last year, year before last, that the more concrete you have in your community,
I'm sorry.
the more concrete you have in your community, is, your rates will be higher because it rolls off.
You're absolutely correct.
Yes.
And I'm not the technical analyst here, but there's a runoff coefficient that they calculate. So, if everything is concrete, the water and the rain and et cetera can't permeate the ground and get into the groundwater. It runs off, it gets into your street, and it goes into the sewer lines. And then it gets treated. So the more concrete you have, a city like New York City, everything runs off and down into the drains. There's nowhere for it to go. It is metered, yes. Absolutely metered. No. No. That sheet in the GWK facility came on board like maybe 10 years ago or so. Everything was metered.
Bring down like on the streets, they all stopped up with bottles again and rain. Who cleans all of that? Don't that cause a problem?
It does cause a problem. I mean, we do ask our residents to clean those out just to keep that debris et cetera out of the system.
I'm not talking about in front of residents' house. I'm talking about like on the street, like, like where you walk on the street. The grates where the water goes.
Right. I mean, our office.
Like this little U-haul where we got right up in the circle. And that's full of grass and leaves.
I mean, I would say not on a regular basis, but if our guys are out here doing something else, they will clean that on a daily basis if that gets bogged down. I mean, you certainly can. I have the same thing in my neighborhood too, so I have to go out. I mean, I live on a dirt road and it floods and all the debris is in front of that sewer line, and so I do clean it out just so that water doesn't flood the streets and stuff.
Is there any plan in the future to near future to upgrade our system?
That's some of the reasons.
That's
Some of the reason why this year we included an extra $15,000 in the system to try to build some reserves so that we can fund future capital programs. There's some state money going on right now. I think you guys are eligible in 2017 or 2018 to receive some state funding to improve the sewer lines. I don't have all the details with me on that, but you do have to build up. You do have to show that you can fund the projects. Basically, the state's giving us money to go in and inspect all the sewer lines, clean and CCTV all those sewer lines, and whatever problems we find, basically, we have to come up with the money to do that project and repair those sewer lines within, I think it was a couple of years, if I'm correct. So there's some programs that we'll be talking about with the supervisor here in the future that potentially could help the system.
When you say we,
I mean, I do mean you, we, us collectively as Royal Oak Township. Yes. So it's not, the state will give the grant money for Royal Oak Township, and I think it's like a 90% grant, meaning you only pay 10%.
Been a funding for that.
Right. I know, and you're on the list right now, and in 17 or 18.
But sir, I'd like to add, Oakland County does not come down in the township and clean the drains the way they should.
I mean, they are very negligent there. I mean, I can, yes, clean and I do, clean on the top of what's in the street, that's the main sewer. But I cannot, a resident cannot take that cap and clean.
Sure.
They have data, but if I see them one time a year coming out to this community and cleaning those drains, that's a lot of the problem. They do not
It is
regularly the way they should.
it's a balance right now in the system due to the state of where we are from a cost perspective. So I mean, if we could do everything that we wanted to do down here, it would cost the rates would increase drastically to do that.
I mean, once a year,
Well, I think we're doing it right now as needed basis. So when there's an issue, we come down. But on a regular basis, we're at bare bones on the system right now, operate and maintain it. We are not doing any of our normal operations and maintenance expenses that we would do on any type of cyclical nature. What are the balance of there is some funds in the reserves. I can give you the exact numbers, but they're roughly 180,000 in water and 180,000 in sewer. I'll get you the exact numbers.
It's a concern to me, how you, all that, that you use that term, Band-Aid system. That's,
Well, I mean, we would certainly not a Band-Aid in the sense that if we don't think that it'll last. I agree. But we would like to take out the whole, we would like to replace the whole water line, right? Or the whole sewer line, or line the whole sewer line. But instead, we can only do a portion at a time. Wherever that, if there was a split, a crack in the pipe, that's where we would go in and we would set the pipe, reroute it, and fix that area. We'd like to go do the whole pipe, but at this point, we just can't.
What is the starting benchmark for the decline in water use?
When did it start to happen?
Yeah, what is the benchmark, the year?
The year that it basically when the
Yeah,
exact
decline, yeah.
2008, 2007 is when we started to see that decline. So we're still seeing that decline happen. Yes.
No, that executive was back before 2005.
All right.
Mrs. Foote, and then we're going to.
two questions. All I wanna know is how much is my bill gonna be for each month, and also how much is the sewer gonna be? I've only heard for the water.
Right.
The sewer is the most expensive, it's not the
Right.
water cheap.
So for the minimum user, we've got to talk through it with Ms. Reeves. It's going to be about $65 for the minimum user per month.
That's 65 for the sewer.
Water and sewer. So it'll be
Water and sewer?
So it'll be about $21 for water.
Okay.
And roughly $43, $44 for sewer.
Now,
For the minimum user per month.
if you don't pay your bill on time, you're gonna be out the next month cutting it off.
There is a late fee
Okay,
assessment.
how much is that gonna be? Have you all decided on that yet?
I don't have that in front of me actually on what that percentage is. Okay, sewer, we'll move on to sewer now. Or are you?
Yes.
So just sewer real quick. The pie chart real quick, we'll just talk through this. Essentially, I need $788,000 to operate and maintain your system. $555,000 is to operate the GWK at Georgia Nuclear Facility, treat that flow and send it to DWSD. We spent about $190,000 down here to clean CCTV and fix repairs that we talked about a little bit. And then we put a little bit of money aside this year. We're starting $40,000 to fix those sewer problems. So in total, the rate on the sewer side is going up 7.1%, $4 a quarter.
What is the minimum usage?
The minimum usage previously was 1.6, so we're moving a monthly bill. So 1.6 was for a quarter, and divided by 3. So basically you're at 0.7 per month. So 0.7 for the water was $21, the minimum user, and then 0.7 for the sewer would be $43. So the combination of those two per month will be your water and sewer.
To me, like, we had a situation where we had like 20 units. I don't know if that was 20 units per
Zero. So that's, well, I'll double check on that, but I'm pretty sure it's 1.6. 20 units is 2 units. I'm calling it 1.6 units. So when we do the minimum, I'm calculating it on 1.6. The terminology, I don't like the billing terminology. I don't do the billing, but it is, 20 to me is 16. So those two are the comparable ones. They call it 16 units because it's in cubic feet as opposed to 1,000 cubic feet. Confusing to me too.
I just got one question about going to the monthly and the late fees. I know the late fees for 3 month cycle is like $19. So if the person is late, paying a bill on the monthly, it's gonna be a bill less.
Well, it would, let me double check on that. I'm not 100% sure, but it should be, I'm assuming it's based on a percentage. So if it's 5%, because you're only getting charged $60, then 5% times 60 for the water and sewer would be $3.
Because it's gonna be more tedious for people to pay every month. So now you can have people actually just getting a lot of late fees.
Yeah, and we're doing this because it's going to happen to all the communities. It's already happening from Detroit on the sewer side to all of the communities, and it's being pushed down now to the local levels. But it should be a percentage basis, so we can about, from a ratio proportion standpoint, about the same. So,
One more question, and then we're gonna have, could you clarify, is the number that's being divided by 3 months 20 or is it 16? You said 16 divided by 3, is that?
well, 1.6 divided by 3 is basically
That's not
0.66, I think is what it turns out.
That would be 0.5.
Let me check maybe I'm wrong on my minimum user here.
The minimum number means less.
No, I absolutely understand that, but no, I know, but we don't do the billing based on, internally it's based on 1.6. So it would be 0.5 times 3.9. Right. So, let me go back and double check that, make sure I don't have an error on my number, all right? Because maybe it is. It'd be based on flows from July 1st, 2014. I'm not familiar with that. Space?
I think what she's asking is that the residents will start receiving their monthly bills in September, when we start paying monthly rent. Is that correct?
First
Starting in
bill will go
September.
out, like, it's based on flows for July 1st, 2014. So the first bill will go out sometime towards the end of July. July 31st time frame for the flow that you used during the month of July. So instead of, because the old way was you'd be billed in September quarterly.
Right.
So now we're going to monthly bills. You're going to be billed at the end of July, the end of August, the end of September, depending on when those meter reads happen.
Will everybody be notified as to when this starts, the monthly billing starts?
Yes.
They send flyers to your,
Yeah. There's
to your
flyers.
home
Yeah.
on the water department. Everybody, I got one in my house. It's through the mail, okay, through the mail.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I had 1.6 in my mind because I went to Farmington Hills on Monday and then Oakland Township last night. So Farmington Hills is 1.6 for the minimum user. It is 2 or 20 for Royal Oak Township. So my apologies for the confusion. I just had 40 rates in my head.
All right, thank you. Board, you've heard Mr. Conley's, presentation, and we do have 2 items for the resolution on the agenda. Item number D, Mr. Owens has changed a little bit, he did change the, agenda around. So, to approve or disapprove, to approve or disapprove a resolution for the amended water supply rates. Board,
Move that we approve the resolution to amend water rates
Nyhart.
Ford. Thurman. Yes. Harvey.
Yes.
Owen. Squaw.
Yes.
Reed. Yes. Motion carried.
Item number 7E, to approve or disapprove, a resolution to amend the sewage disposal rates, 2014, 2015.
Move that we approve the resolution to amend the sewage disposal rates for Charter County, Florida.
It's been moved by Reed, supported by Thurman.
Owen. Thurman. Squaw.
Yes.
Ford. Harvey.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Item number F, to approve or disapprove the contract with quality disposal. I was asked by, Mr. Burris to, put this on the agenda. We received it from Mr. White. And, board has had a chance to go over it. Mr. White did come and speak with Mr. Burris and myself, and, Mr. White did come and speak with Mr. Burris and myself, and we did, pretty much discover that his rates are lower, and probably the lowest that we'll receive right now from any disposal company, due to Mr. Burris's expertise of working with other disposal companies and knowing and seeing that. So, board would have, yes, Mr. Burris.
Ms. Lee, you called one item to my attention.
Yeah, I brought to Mr. Burton's attention that this is a 3-year contract, and at $7,000 a month, it would be over $22,000, $22,700. If you have a contract over that amount, the state requires you to go out for bid under our consent agreement. So, we are not able to approve this contract.
And she is correct.
That is correct.
That is correct.
So, board, can I have a motion to table this, or, to remove it? We can remove it. It's up to your.
I'd like to make a motion that we table contract with quality disposal.
All in favor? Aye. Any nay? Motion carried.
I know that when our visitor came and did their presentation in our last board meeting, it was indicated since they are doing some things up there in finance with landfill, that we did talk about going out doing these. And for this to come up on the agenda tonight, so that we have it, but there have also been concerns as well with the trucks messing up our streets out here. I would like that if we can go ahead on and start doing RFP for disposal. So hopefully, I think board meeting or within the next couple of weeks, we'll come back with some information on rubbish. That's just my opinion. I'm throwing it out there. We need to do what we got to do. It's time to do it now. Well, hey, I want to hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're down to item number, 7G. Approve, disapprove the tax tribunal for the Academy of Detroit North. Do I have the information in front of you?
It's not gonna be a charge.
There's gonna be a charge, but they
It
both
didn't look like you read what she said, though.
where they are.
Seven G. I heard seven G.
But Mr. Morgan, they haven't been paying us taxes.
But it didn't read that, did it? It didn't read that. Okay.
7G is 7C.
That's
7G
not
is
considered,
7C.
okay? Because they were in school and they were tax exempt. Now, they've been paying us taxes 2 years.
Because they moved this
You know
items
what I'm
up as A,
saying?
B, C.
So now they
Then they
found
made the
already
water, sewer,
minus.
D, and E. Okay.
And they still using the facilities. Not regularly, but they still using it. Well, I guess private, I see functions over there now.
Almost every day. Yeah, something like that. I went up there the other week because it was a new credit card, and I asked Jennifer, in charge, and I said, well, what do you guys be doing? They just be running basketball. You guys do this every week? Yes.
Yeah, they have regular activities over because I live across the street. But I mean, they haven't been paying the township taxes. They haven't been paying us taxes 2 years. It's 2 years. They requested this so soon. Like,
It's probably May 25th. And it came up in court last week. Based on recommendations from Oakland County Commission, they recommend that we set. Which based on, the state of what property values are declining.
I got a question. Tell me, I know you guys handle that, when all that stuff goes to the tax tribunal. And I'm kind of a little upset that I didn't get any information on this, before the settlement was made or anything like that. I feel the board needs to be updated on these type of things because these are problems that are really getting out of hand. We got so many people coming at us with this tax thing, trying to get the taxes reduced. We need to be making our tax base bigger. And I think that we need to tackle this and really get serious about it. As far as I would like to turn this up and to know that I'm not happy with this.
Well, can I say this? Before now, this is a legal case. It's almost, is it like a lawsuit? Because what happened is the state got it before we did. Mr. Burgess came to me before our attorneys could even say anything to us. It went up to Lansing first. Mr. Burgess came to me before, and then the very next day is when I got the call from April. So the state got it first, and they basically, it does, that's what I asked April. Doesn't even matter if we approve it or not, because the state is gonna approve it. So, that's my question.
Well, it matters, state, in terms of resolution, the consent agreement says that before litigation is resolved, the state must be consulted, advised, essentially got their approval. But that says it requires their approval, it doesn't command or compel, restrict your approval. Now, this is litigation. We pursued tax revenue, we filed a petition timely. Matter came on. I think we have done several of these in the past, but certainly if you'd like, I can have a specific presentation to this board so that they can answer all the questions about anything you might want to know about the process and why this is or isn't a good settlement. You can ask those questions. I can arrange to have that at the next meeting, or if you want to have a special meeting, we can try to accommodate that.
Mr. Morgan, I understand what you're saying. Mr. Burgess actually forwarded the email to me. So, rather than the email coming to the board asking us to settle, your office sent the email to Treasury. And Treasury sent it back to the township.
Well, that's because the consent agreement says that it can be settled without the consent, it says treasury, it doesn't say the consultant.
I understand.
So then, the we got an email the other day or yesterday, I saw it today for the first time, where Mr. Klein had said, in the future going forward, anytime the consent agreement says you need Treasury's approval, you are deemed to your consultant, Mr. Burgess. So, we went through this on the Royal Township Oak Park 45th District Court litigation. We wanted to resolve that, this body approved it, it then entered a consent agreement, and notify Treasury and say, the client wants to go down this road and have this stay of proceedings while the companion case against Honey Woods goes up in the Court of Appeals. So they ended up the flagpole at Treasury, they bumped us around to a couple of attorneys. We didn't have Mr. Burgess at that time, before that. We had to get their approval. One of the things they asked me, though, was that the board agreed on this, and we discussed this in closed session. And so, finally they said, okay, that's fine, you can enter into a stay pending appeal. Anyway, so they located me at it, and she said, we have this litigation. I said, I go, Treasury,
So my question is, considering that they had a court date scheduled for last Friday, and I guess, were they told that you were going to settle, we have an option now to review?
I don't know the answer to that. I understand the court date was adjourned. I don't know if it was terminated or canceled. I'm not aware that. So it was adjourned. So it adjourned probably on the basis that we have somewhat of a unique situation here, and that we're not the only individuals that have to say yea or nay. So the tax tribunal in Michigan Department recognizes some of the problems. So I don't think this is a done deal. If that's what you're asking. I think, that this cannot be a federal complete. And if you like, we can have, does not come in. Is there any questions you have about that? Why she thinks this is good? I do believe she does think it's a good thing to do. And it does arise not out of a reason, like last year, but the year before.
I saw the equalization, and, under the equalization recommended that we settle. So it's up to the board, we can, maybe we come back.
It is up to the board.
What's your recommendation, Madam?
I just told you, I talked to equalization, who we contract with, and they recommended that we settle.
So it was adjourned, right?
Also, our attorney,
It was adjourned in order that we evaluate this.
she recommended that we settle also. The amount was $29,000.
Would it be that they be a larger amount if we don't settle at this particular time?
12, 13, 14.
That's what I'm asking. My question will,
If you go to trial, then you're defending more or less. Could be more, could be less, but it could be the same. So, you need to answer
I
that.
just have concerns about all these people making requests for lower taxes. All of our businesses here, we're gonna be in bad shape.
Well, they have a statutory right to make that petition, and the tax tribunal has jurisdiction to review that. We don't act alone. We are joined at the hip with Oakland County on this as well.
I know that too, but it just seems like I never know this many come before this board. Because I'm concerned about our tax base.
Hard times.
Okay, board, so, there is a motion on the floor.
No motion.
There is still the board, but I have a
So are we
motion.
gonna just, wait for water?
So, somebody make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the tax tribunal with a caveat perpetuity amount of $29,533.
It's been, approved by Harvard, supported by Reeves.
Owen,
No.
Harding,
Yes.
Starr,
Yes.
Ford, Reeves,
Yes.
Brinkley, yes, motion carried.
Item number 7.
Still, cost necessarily also addressed.
Please do, because I would feel better.
I'm concerned about the future of the township. We keep taking these new issues from everybody. I'm just trying to find a way where we can get some middle ground, where we can keep these people from coming at us like this.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you.
Okay, item number 7H, to approve or disapprove the 2015-2017 cooperative agreement between Logan County CDBG and the Charter Township of Walnut. It's time, to approve this agreement so that we can continue to receive our community development block grant funds and to continue to have our relationship with Logan County community-owned development.
That we approve the cooperative agreement between Oakland County Community Development and Warren Township.
It's been moved by Reeves and supported by Ford. No, yes. Because no, you can't. You have to do a resolution.
Come on. I'll come on.
She's a little petition.
Okay.
So, it's been moved by Reeves, supported by Ford to approve the 2015-17 CDBG agreement between Oakland County and Walnut Township.
Reeves,
Yes.
Garvin, Owens, Garvin, yes. Wall, motion carried.
Um, item number 7, to have the completion of the substation done by the 30th of June, 2014. We have to have this done. I've been relying on our DPW workers and Mr. Ford and so forth, and the cost is rising. Treasurer wants to know, once this is tied up, for in June, I had to go and try and get people to come in, and I showed them, and one was Bird Construction, one was our own Mr. Rick down here, who does this type of work on the side, and the other one was a Dove Construction. I was told by Mr. Burgess to let Rick go and review it and see. So these are our 3 quotes. One, Mr. Rick, I think, going to charge $5,000 to be finished by the end of the month. That'll be the 27th. Bird Construction, $3,200, and he also says that he'll be any Rick estimate. And then you have Dove Construction, wants to charge a total of $1,850.
Make sure I start doing this week, okay?
I do have, I did speak to Mr. Ford, and as far as the wires and so forth that's still hanging from the ceiling, he says that, what was the good, Hertz Electrical? No, the wires, because the, lights have to, type, lights like this have to be tied into them once the ceiling is finished. So I guess he'll come out and finish that, is that right, Mr. Ford? So I have a blank here for you all to please, because we have about 2 weeks to have this done. Yes.
To, working with Crown Insurance and liability insurance with the township
go in and make the changes back to the dates and he's gonna tell us what that amount is gonna be anyway, if we're already on the hook here for a significant number of months.
Well, what if it's gonna be a lot more
But,
than what the rent canvas is, because that's why he paid a ridiculous amount in the first place. Mr. Ford and I were sitting there with him, and that's why I agreed with Mr. Ford that we could go on and do this. The amount that he made was just ridiculous. But it's coming to that anyway. I thought that we could have done better.
My question about this is, did we give them with the specifications so that we can make sure that everybody is bidding on the same thing? Because I was just, like you said, doing the show, but in order for us to know that we're actually comparing apples with apples, we would have to know that they all receive the same allotment, and this specifically what this is doing.
It's no, excuse me, first, no, who would have been the expert to go in there and tell them, I took them into a building that had started being constructed. I showed what needed to be done, the floor needed to be, completed here, the ceiling needed to be completed. And if you read all the estimates, they basically all say the same thing. So they all went in there. I supported each and every, well, not Mr. Mason, Michael Dunlap took him in there. But the other two, I went in there with them, and they basically say the same thing. But I'm no expert at this, so, I know that the ceiling needs to be, I know that the walls need to be finished, and I know that there's parts of the floor that need to be finished. So, and that's, and paint.
So that's my point, because like, the Burke construction says that they're going to install 500 square feet of commercial tile. This one says 900, so that means that they're not bidding the same thing.
Well, I'm not the one who, I didn't measure, they both measured. They both measured. I was standing there when they both measured.
That's my point. We're going to have somebody bid. We have to make sure that everybody's bidding on the same thing. The only way to do that is to have somebody do some kind of specifications of what needs to be done and what to bring back to this original
So
staff.
if we had an expert to do the specifications on it, they should have done the work. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I was there, they all measured. So maybe this person who said 900 or 700 or whatever he said, I don't, maybe his measurements were off. But I stood there while they all measured.
Did we get point references of these recommendations?
Personally, I think we should take the Lord's estimate and go with that, because during the time crunch, we all got to the end of the month.
We have the nine,
It just done, so then they're gonna need days to work on this, so soon we can tell them they can go ahead, as soon as we can get out of this lease agreement.
It's on your board. You have done 7I, it's on you.
I would like to recommend whoever did the work, a picture be taken of that facility so they can't come back in the future and say that we didn't do this and that wasn't done.
Before it's completed, I will have Mr. Said come in.
That should go on file, so
Mr. Said, Mr. Dunlap, so that we know that it's brought back to the original state. Basically, it was just one,
yeah, I remember that, but I mean,
yes, the contract would be there from the get-go.
okay.
Your understanding, because
Said, he's
Sites
in
you
Chicago.
and his attorney, Mr. Harrington.
Okay.
The problem is, what's gonna happen is we're all thinking we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Contractor's gonna come in, he's gonna do what he thinks should be done. We're gonna pay him, Mr. Side's gonna take possession at some point and say, this wasn't done, that wasn't done.
that's all right.
He's gonna go out, he's gonna assess us another fee, he's gonna say, no, no, no. So, again, this is not a legal question, this is a policy question of what the board wants to do.
So, based on that, having Said or his attorney, Aaron,
This is, we're gonna pay him, we're gonna negotiate, we're gonna.
right? Or
which one is highly recommended?
Or,
Reference to the, past work that they did.
I'm not sure who checked the references. Supervisor, who checked the references?
no, I did not. I was referred, I had to find someone. The state said, get this cleaned up. Your current bill with the police, get it cleaned up. We have 2 weeks. Burke Construction, I do know that Burke Construction is very good construction company. I do know that. Doug was recommended to me by someone, and as I said, Mr. Rich, down here. So, I did this in a matter of days so that I could get it ready for this board. Along with the house.
So, let me get an understanding. So, the attorney said that we should get Saeed, who is lawyer, the contractor who we choose, and they all agree on what the contractor is going to do to make sure that it's according to what he wants, so we won't have no problem.
Right, exactly. I'll make sure that happens before ever you all choose to go up in there. I will make sure that it is, if you table it, that how you
I
have.
know we should go with the best, lowest bidder. The best, the best.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the contract for the completion of the substation by June 30th, 2014, based on Mr. Saeed's or his attorney with the contractor that we choose with the lowest bid, which is $3,200. Bird Construction. I make a motion that we approve the contract between, for the completion of the substation by June 30th, 2014, by Bird Construction with their bid of $3,200, along with the, Mr. Saeed or his attorney present with Bird Construction to make sure that, everything is satisfactory before you start work.
Before and after.
And after.
And
Please, to keep on file. I support it. Reed?
no,
Byron? Yes. Ford?
Yes.
Carter?
Yes.
Bowen?
Yes.
Ward?
yes.
Reed, no, motion carried.
Item number 7J.
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules so we can continue this meeting.
Support. It's been moved to suspend the rules to continue the meeting. It's after 9:30. It's been moved by Harmon, supported by Reeves.
All in favor?
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried.
Item number 7J, approve, disapprove, vote and down for the union workers in the amount of $944 yearly. This plan is similar to the one that they had. I've given you a copy of it.
Was there any more plans looked at besides this?
There was one more, and, they never, I waited for them for 2, 3 weeks, almost a month. They would not get back to me, they would not send me anything by email or whatever, and I just wouldn't go. This one and another one was recommended by a union worker.
Mr. Cross?
Yes.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the Golden Dental Company for the union workers in the amount of $944.28.
Write your name down. Um, hey, I ain't paying attention no more. I'm too through. When you said he was gone. I'm ready to go.
But it should, because if you
I have a question also, looking at the different benefits, it was a premium, gold, and copper, which one is it? And with the copay, are the employees responsible for that, or is Township responsible for that out of town?
I have to get my percentage.
When I go to the dentist, I have a certain percentage. All of them that the employee have to pay.
I understand, but my question is, the 9.4 is going to be township bills.
But we have to pay.
Right, now, the copay also up there, how is that going to be, how much is the employee's going to pay it? How is that going, which plan will they use, because it's two different plans.
But one to nine four is the goal.
Is the goal.
That's 7 to 1 that they can part in.
Now, that's the percentage that they have to pay.
It says right, it says right here. All it says, it tells everything else says there. Yeah. Yes.
They probably don't but you can't hear, can you?
The question is whether or not the current contract, which I know is expired, and is unfortunately operating as a matter of course. Okay, so it's been expired for 6 years, something like that. So, but the legal question then is whether or not, the legal question therefore is whether or not the contract specifies the specific level of benefits. And if the contract was current, then the township would be under obligation to provide those specific level of benefits. If the contract calls for a general level, i.e. we shall provide dental, we shall provide optical, we shall provide healthcare, not this specific policy that described in this code. But general, then the township's free to substitute one for another and is not bound by any specific
Until she
level of
put something on the
benefit
agenda.
that was provided in the past.
They,
It's always
they keep that
general.
policy in effect until
This was the question of gateway litigation. Is the contracts there general and being waived?
that's technically their policy. So if they go past that, they need to be all open and take a vote to extend they own rules. And Donna just implement it whenever she feel like, because maybe somebody got something on the agenda that she.
I think at one point the supervisor was engaged in bargaining. I don't know the status
Well,
of
it's been
that.
done about 3 times, I guess.
And what we're doing here is we're trying to make a good faith effort to provide a benefit level. And then as bargaining continues, to try and wrap that into an agreement, maybe even a signed agreement along the way. The law says, I'm not aware of that.
Your choice, or if I'm by that contract, which is about 10 years old, okay. And we have to provide, those benefits.
The contract have expiration date?
No, we have renewed it. I mean, really,
The law says that a contract without an expiration date is voidable by either party.
they changed, we haven't signed a contract in almost 10 years. That's
You know,
ridiculous.
you want our office to get re-involved, you were involved in contract negotiations.
Right, but we never settled.
Exactly. And they were disputed about, I think,
They gave them like
So I think,
a little
I think if these, the parties, the township has a duty to offer something, I think we all agree on that. If they offer this and labor says, you know what, that isn't enough, that's not good enough, that's the subject of agreements, that's the subject of further bargaining. But we have a duty, as well as labor has a duty to sit down and bargain. That's non-negotiable for sure, so that's what we would advise. Also, I do think we sent a letter to labor, let's go back several years ago, and saying that the, you're from me within 30 days.
take us arbitration.
Well, no, then we would consider the contract terminated, and we now stand ready to contract to negotiate. Yeah. So that's my recommendation. Right now, even if you have your variance or mitigating your damage,
We have environment with them.
well, I don't think we've gotten impasse, but the thing that legal impasse is strictly defined, but the fact of the matter is if there's no ongoing negotiations, this might be the subject once it's adopted. But right now, you're paying on top of it. So this is a means to try and cut your losses.
Now, since we're in the consent agreement, Mr. Burgess gonna be in on the negotiations.
Good.
That's what's part of his resume, that's one of his expertise, so we'll see.
Get a contract, that would be great.
Okay, that's what he has in his resume.
Okay, so board, reach out to,
Is that the question?
Where are you now?
we're on 7G. We had, you were here from the beginning, to approve, disapprove golden dental for the union workers in the amount of 9.428 yearly. No, that's for all three. All three. I'm waiting.
I made the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Thurman.
It's really sad.
It's been moved by Thurman and
It's really
supported by
sad.
Morris.
Ford. Owen. Harvey. Reed. Cross.
Yes.
Wait, no. Motion carried. Motion. I say yes. Motion carried.
Item number 7K, removed from the table. Director Department. This is the same contract we had last year, where, our recreation department cannot, with the money that they have in their budget, afford to get a grass cutting company, so our, Michael Dunlap will perform cutting 8 hours a week for Parks and Rec. And, they did get billed last year, but they will be getting billed this year for this time.
I
And
have a
that
question.
time will be, that time, we're in the middle of the week.
I
I
but-
have to wait till the end. That time will be,
It's concerning what you're about to vote on, because I have a question on, is it a conflict of interest for him to be working for you?
You know, we're in the middle of the week. We're in the middle of the week. The board,
I can still comment on a motion that you're about to, for a DPS worker that you're gonna contract with the recreation department, can't I?
Excuse me, you have board meetings, you know this, we're in the middle of a meeting.
But when it comes to something to do with the recreation center and the worker, can't I make a comment as a, because it has something to do with your,
We're in the middle of a meeting.
okay.
I've got a couple of complaints from the citizens about lots not being cut. Lots are not being cut, on the timely manner by citizens. I've got a couple.
Because we don't need to contract with them, we don't cut our grass.
So, I can't see us giving them over to them, but we got work that needs to be done that isn't being done.
Can I say what's been going on, especially since, grass, cutting season has happened? And that's one of the things that was in this resolution that you just, if you notice, we're putting $2,000 from rental into, equipment maintenance. One of our main, I guess you call it trackers, has broke. It costs a lot more to repair than it is to purchase another one. They have another one, the exact same one, and they want to sell us, I think, $1,700. I don't know, Mike, shared the quote with you. Mr. Burgess has since also agreed that this is the best thing to do. Michael Dunlap has been hand mowing. I've seen him, many of you have seen him, he's hand mowing. I saw him hand mow a lot. It took him over an hour. When on that tractor, he could knock it out in 10, 15 minutes. So come Monday, we're purchasing, this resolution passed, we're purchasing that machine. Mr. Dunlap and Mr. Horn will be able. It's been taking, and I apologize to the citizens, but they have been doing the best they can. I had to get the budget amendment. I asked the state wanted me to wait till Mr. Burgess come in to amend his budget so that he could get the state is aware of what's going on. So now things will get done in a timely fashion, he's been walking. He's been walking with him hand. And we're gonna bless his heart if he's done that.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is we gonna have to tighten up on this equipment because somebody gonna have to be responsible for all these repairs.
Right.
So we gonna, between the trustees, where we need to get down to make sure they're inspecting that equipment. If it's broken with it, they need to be letting us know so we can address it.
And August is the time we're gonna start looking at all the equipment for the winter. The snow plows, all of this. Do not wait till it's time to do snow, and then they say we don't have a plow. So all of this, matter of fact, the snow plow has just been returned. Am I correct, Mr. So we're gonna start rolling. So this is, come Monday, if we feel we get our new tractor.
So you replace it with the same kind of tractor?
The same, but see, there's different tractors for different
He
cuts.
can say something.
And
She can
the
say
ones
something.
that cut, I don't know.
So you can answer him, but you can't talk to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Ford, Mr. Ford,
I'm
the
sorry,
tractor. Explain the
I
tractor.
apologize.
The one that is being replaced.
I
The one that's being
apologize.
replaced, this is a short, it says a short cut. It has a mulch, attached up underneath. So now, I'm cutting, instead of having two, but they have two or three blades. It's a 62 inch. And what that does is that, tractor, the one that's being replaced is, a quick cut. It has 62-inch blade on it, it has 3 blades to it. This lawnmower right here just don't mulch. This lawnmower right here don't cut it mulch as well, so it does provide cutting
Nothing.
straight out
It
everything.
ain't got nothing to do with him being a contract worker.
Right here does.
That's the main mower that they use most of the time. So without this mower, the township has been in a bad state. So very bad, y'all.
That mower just been broken for over a week.
You'll see a difference. And it'll help with park and rec as well.
I have a question. It says, this contract says, in addition to the regular duties, DPW working for the township, but employees will be responsible for performing the duties of cleaning up the recreation center?
That's not so much, that's not true. This has been, Michael Dunlap has been doing this for years. He checked, I understand what it says, but they know the relationship. Days, if they cut, if he's given
Ain't
8
it
hours
conflict of
of
interest for him to
cut
be on
and
the
say
hour
he
and have a contract with us
finished
too?
it and
Ain't that
say
double
he
dipping?
has 2 more hours, he'll check the pool, he'll check different things, in the recreation department to finish up those 8 hours.
So, we wanting, DPW employees to the recreation center, and that person will be responsible for general upkeep of the recreation center, such as changing ceiling tiles, checking the water, checking the pool, checking lights. What is that work?
Kim, this is the exact, you know what, this is the
Thank
exact
you,
same
Kim.
agreement that you all agreed on last year. The only thing that has been changed is the date.
The question is he gonna be on
I know,
the, is he
I know,
getting
but
paid?
the
Is he
only
double
thing that has
dipping?
been
Is he
changed
able to
is the
double
date.
dip? Does he have a contract with you and he getting paid
The
hourly rate
same
and a contract with
job
us too?
description,
Because it was the same as last year, that don't mean we
I'm sorry, Mr.
everything.
President.
I mean,
I
I'm not
apologize.
saying that that's, you
I
know,
apologize.
but, Michael Dunlap.
Let me stop
Parks
that.
and Rec
Let
know
me stop. I'm getting
what
this.
needs to be done for him. And basically, this, let me
She
say
here.
this. If he's giving
She
him
just
8
don't want
hours
to
a
answer.
week, say 4 of them days is rain.
Man, this place, man. This place.
Those 8 hours, some of those 8 hours, he could be in there doing the maintenance. Every day is not gonna be a sunshiny day to cut grass. So there's things that boiler, Mike is familiar with the boiler there, Mike is familiar with a lot of things in the recreation department. So those days that he cannot cut, he will fulfill his 8 hours doing these other obligations. We can say one thing about that more, for instance, that I understand, I'm not totally sure about it, but from the beginning, I understand that was a Park and Recreation Board. Is that correct, Mr. Ford?
No, that's all, that was a joint effort.
A joint effort, okay, well,
That's what that was.
you know, we're all in one community. The citizens, I don't think the citizens care who the lawnmower belongs to, as long as it gets done.
It was a donation. They got it as a donation.
Sound like Jerry
What
said.
happened was that,
I mean, it's the truth.
what had happened was money was taken from the sign, money was taken from the property, right at 8 Mile Road from the sign, and money was taken from, Park and Rec, so it was more joint
Oh,
effort.
I just took your pen, thank you.
Okay, Board, we have a motion on the table. Yeah, I mean, can we?
Since it's double detailed,
And there is no contract, where is this contract at? You know what I'm saying? No contract.
they no longer have anyone.
Yes, yes, they
What do Rick do? It don't seem like nothing.
Been in this for many years, you know, it's not.
I'm just,
So my question is that he's gonna do his 8 hours for the township and then go work 2 hours for the rest?
No,
How is this gonna follow?
this is Michael done that the first thing, 2 hours a day.
So he's
8
actually
hours.
working 6 hours plus 2 hours?
He's working, no, he's giving them 2 hours a day. Or if you notice, I have down here going to 5 days a week, we already discussed that, Mr. Burgess and the DPW work, he'll go an hour and a half a day. However, you know, if the board so chooses for them to go 5 hours, yeah. And the rest of the time will be, and I wanted that done first thing in the morning, as soon as he comes in, go to the rec, the rest of the day we go to the township.
So it doesn't sound like they're double dipping, it just sounds like they're giving him other duties that are contracted to work with that position.
How are we gonna pay him?
No, it's gonna be part of his pay.
What happened is,
Right,
I will
but what
give the recreation
I don't
department
understand because Michael,
every
he
pay
took me
period
there
for
for
8 hours.
he ain't doing shit.
But that sounds like it's overtime. It doesn't sound like it's his.
It's not, it shouldn't be no overtime, but the question would be, I guess my biggest question was, if he has mandatory hours here, how can you allocate him to be someplace else? Unless he's after hours, you see what I'm saying?
Under the scope of duties, you can reallocate how people do their duties and things like that. And so,
And then do we have a pre-existing contract with him? He is a union worker, because he's a union worker. And that's the thing, you see what I'm saying? That's why I was questioning, because that was a good question Owens had, because that's what he want to know is, will he be on their clock, or will he be after my time? You know what I'm saying? Because a union worker, they do have to have certain hours, right? He's a union worker, right?
yeah, they do like 40 hours,
I'm just
36 hours.
saying.
I mean,
Yes. Board, can I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the contract between Park and Rec and Charlotte Township Royal.
It's been moved by Ford, supported by Owens.
Owens,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes. Elliott,
yes.
Harvey,
No.
Reed,
Rob,
Yes.
Ricky, no. Motion carried.
Down on to item number, to approve or disapprove a DPW workers to return 5 days a week. 8 hours a day. That way, you
I
know,
thought you just
for
put that
instance,
already.
the problem that we've been seeing is that 2 days last week, it rained. And not so, it did rain on a Friday. And they couldn't cut on that Friday because they were off. So we're losing time, you know. It rained on a Wednesday and a Thursday, and they couldn't do anything. Or it was a Tuesday and a Wednesday. However, I needed them out there to continue to cut these lines. So we need them.
First of
I
all,
have a citizen that's just laid. We need them 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. They were racking up, and then, you know, when I would put them out there, they were racking up this overtime. You know, in the spring, we just can't, they can't. So board,
Is this Mr. Burgess' recommendation?
no, this was what I recommended to Mr. Burgess. And
I have
he
a
took it to
question.
the state.
I brought this up some months ago about.
I know, it's, yes, he was citizen.
I brought this up months ago, going over a deficit reduction plan,
And Mr. Carter.
and moving 5 days a week, but also he suggested we cut our hours to 6 hours a day, which would save us a lot of money since we are gonna do belt tight anyway, and I believe the whole operation needs to move to 5 days a week, not only the DPW. And, you know, I have talked to, Mr. Cunningham about that, and, he said it would save us a considerable amount of money. You know, all the way around too, so, you know, I'm really with this, but 8 hours a day, really, if we can afford to give Michael a break for 2 hours a day, we need to go for 5 hours, 5 days a week, 6 hours a day, that's 30 hours. It'll be a win-win situation all the way around.
Well, but see, I mean, if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna do that, this agreement only goes to a certain time. We're gonna keep this going on here, because snow is gonna come as well.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about, I wanted to change the whole structure, for all year round anyway, that's why I said, no, I brought it up for 5 days a week, 6 hours a day.
Well, right now, I
That's
can't.
for everybody, not just the people.
I can't do that, because that's connected to the agenda union, and,
Mr.
I
Burgess,
can't do that right now.
we have
But,
to get together with the state.
yes, right now, I can only, do the 40 hours that they're supposed to have, and that's 5 hours a day, 8 hours, 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 40 hours.
This is something for the season.
No, this will be for, the winter as well.
But I know you just told us that if they do the contract, any party can nominate the contract, what the contract you have.
The amount of hours
They offer that.
we cut it, it's never put into contract.
Okay, board, may I have a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion that we approve DPW workers to return to a 5 days a week, 8 hours a day schedule.
It's been moved by Owens,
I supported it.
supported by
State
Turner.
allow us to
Mr. Burgess was sitting in on the meeting. Yes.
pay the state.
Oh, excuse me, effective, Monday.
Yes.
Reed? Yes. Third? Yes. Schwab?
Yes. They've already discussed that. They
He said so you can notify him and let him know.
Again, if it wasn't 6 hours, 10 hours, it should be time.
It was 85, normal time, before the township went to their 10 hours, wasn't listed for 85, yes. No, it wasn't. Township did 10 hours. No, before we went to 10 hours, when the township used to be open for 5 days a week, it was from, no, it wasn't that, it was 8:30 to 5. Yes, Mr. Owens, Mr. Burgess, Mr. Owens, Mr. Burgess, and myself, we already discussed that.
Didn't they pass the motion?
Eight hours.
They passed the law, not moving to the text.
Yeah.
Burgess, right? Burgess.
So the time is, put into that motion from 8:30 to 5. Okay. Down to item number 9, treasurer. Oh, did we go? Okay. Down to, item number 9, treasurer. Current tax, current tax, $45,998.84, current tax check, $2,615, proposal, $3,068.07, VA escrow, $2,177.77, petty items, $10,504.17, fire, $56,690.06, funeral check, $72,078.85, civil savings, $26,748.58, library, $2,151.54, NSP, $254.17, parks and rec, $42,808.60, payroll checking, $12,609.03, police, $2,391.14, Park tax, $1,559.62, street lighting, $79.12, finance cable, $13,247.61, $1,258.84, grand total, $653,257. Board, you heard the bank balances, may I have a motion to approve the bank balances?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the bank balance as read by Treasurer Reed.
It's been moved by, board, supported by Owens, to approve the bank balances.
All in favor? Motion carries.
Item number 10A, to,
Approve the second reserve. Approve the disapprove past payroll dated May the 20th, amount of $13,958.76.
it's been moved by Owens, supported by Ford, to approve the payroll dated May 20th.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Any nays? Approve the disapprove, payroll June 4, 2014, amount of $13,222.85.
It's been moved by Owens, supported by Ford, to approve the payroll dated June 4th.
All in favor? Aye. Any nays? Motion carries.
10C,
Approve the disapprove payroll dated June 4th, amount of $1,150.75.
There goes the form. What was that for? I was trying to.
It's at the top of it.
Longevity. The amount is, $1,000 opposed to the other.
Longevity tax.
Oh, okay, that's what I was
It's at the top. It's right up under the date. It says payroll register. Look, at the top of the page, payroll register, and then up under it has longevity. Very top.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm fine with that.
Okay, it's been, support is on there.
All in favor? Aye. Any nay? Motion carried.
10D,
Approve or disapprove accounts payable dated June 9, 2014, $75,880.94.
Madam Chair, I make the motion that we approve accounts payable dated June 9, 2014, $75,880.94. Subject to the availability of funds.
What?
I understood Mr. Burgess correctly. On this form, you all already decided what's going to pay, like you said, okay?
Yes.
That's what I'm looking at.
So, this was prepared for cash balance,
Yes.
that didn't take into account $2,000 transfer to street light, right?
Yes.
When I
It just
asked,
says, okay, Mr. Chairman, you have to pay that,
Yes, we have budgeted it.
and then you have something that says pay, so.
Yes. We all have budgeted. We had to go to general fund, we had to go to each line item. But for the rest of the department, they had the money in their fund, so we just put pay on it.
okay, so the general fund, everything had to pay back is going to be paid.
Yes.
So the check that's
So
on
the
the
NA means there's no fund.
The ones that you have in, that is,
The check document said the same thing, Madam Clerk?
uh, he wasn't paying that, he just said in that, I mean, in that,
That means
we're not dealing with that one right now, we're just requesting the mail.
That's why the check is.
You said check.
But everything else we got okay, those are the ones that, and I see where he got his other ones too, thank you.
Because those that, like, library got their own fund, recreation had those, they had the dollar amount, general fund, they just each line item.
then when
But
you,
some of them need budgets in
then
there.
when you have a question mark, what does that mean? I'm just asking,
No,
all
no, it's just like,
okay.
So, based on this, what you do is everything that he is said to pay, you will take those off the phone, and then you will see if there's enough
I
money
put
left.
them, everything he said, I have to put on hold. And, I mean, no, excuse me, they're not on hold, but everything that he didn't tell me to pay, didn't say pay, I'll put them on hold, and then I'll run another report by phone.
Okay, so just, general fund portion is $39,000. So that means that something has to, this needs to be reviewed, because there's not, having a transfer, there's not gonna be enough money to cover all these expenses.
She'll take it off, I'm looking at the check.
was it moved and supported? It was
I
moved
made
by,
a motion. I made a motion for it.
it was, moved by Horn, supported by Ford.
All in favor? Aye. Nay? Motion carried.
Item 10E.
Approve or disapprove what it was previously done. She was making 17 dollars.
How much would that be yearly? You say to reinstate it from what to what?
It's 1037.
And you wanna make it,
17.
you wanna go from 10,000 to 17,000, right?
I want to make her residence to live back her back, or to reinstate her salary
To equal $17,000 yearly.
to equal her pay rate, $17 an hour. State to,
They already aware, so it's just, we'll make y'all decision.
Which ain't she?
I'd like to make a motion that we, I'd like to make a motion to approve the fees, Mr. Hickman, deputy clerk salary. I got a question,
This is wrong here, and then the state is telling us what it's gonna do.
Say you got it,
I mean,
200,000, yeah.
you don't have the state's powers.
no, I'm looking for my information on that. For
Because she didn't give us anything.
that's what I was looking for.
She didn't give us anything. All the grades is $17,000.
See, it's not. So, we should, that's
Reinstate her salary.
then you should put documentation that you agree.
Motion is on the floor. Was it supported?
Just saying, you already know. Just because she's saying it, it's the deputy. If it was a treasurer, the treasurer did it, didn't she? Not too long ago. Got a place for the treasurer.
My
Just
motion
saying.
was to, approve the real estate deputy clerk salary. Followed by, this is my motion, followed by a letter pertaining to the city that can be added on there for a total of $17,000 per installment.
What are you trying to say? Are you trying to say with the, you're trying to say in approval letter?
In my motion.
Are you trying to say in approval letter from the consultant? Pay, to pay the deputy clerk $17,000.
It's all right. That's what I have in my motion.
That's amazing. I'm not gonna take no action. Ford, Owen, and I want, and I can go even further. Carter. I don't take all the time with
It's too tiny.
I'm sorry, now what?
It is.
The motion is to reinstate the deputy clerk's salary to $17 an hour with an approval letter from the state.
This is so elementary in this place. It is so elementary. This just reminds me of like some grade school stuff. Period.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve to reinstate the deputy clerk's salary, $17,000 per a letter from the consultant. Approving
An approval letter from the consultant. An approval letter from the consultant.
effective,
The date that he gives his approval letter.
Squad,
No,
Donovan,
No. So that, no.
Reed,
yes.
Wakefield,
Did you see
motion
that?
carries. Reed, yes.
I had it.
I can't hear.
Item number, 10.
It was an approval.
Approve and disapprove Shannon Company for the one-time on-site fee of $135 to $165. We have all the papers that the clerk office and the deputy clerk has had, and it is a huge amount of paper that I never threw away. Every paper that we had, we kept in there, and some of the election stuff has to be shredded or burned. But we have some new forms, and they cannot be,
Just go back to when it was made that the supervisor had to be present also to be shredded.
yeah. So when the state came in, they, told me to talk to Mr. Burns, Mr. Burns went in and go through the items, and he said to call the sheriff company.
Well, excuse me. You heard the consent agreement. I think that everyone, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Mr. Burgess, per the consent agreement, has to consult with me. And this is the first time I'm hearing about it. And I'm not trying to be funny, but some of the officers around here just go into him and don't look at me. But Mr. Klein and everyone else will tell you that I have to approve.
Well, we have paid for
And
that.
Mr. Burgess didn't come to me, and you go into him and overlooking me, and, it has to come to me first.
Well, everybody in the town should know that I have all that paperwork and all the board of trustees, and they were supposed to go look at it. It is a safety fire hazard for the, right.
Right. Exactly. But the thing that I'm saying, because she's, is going to Mr. Burgess. This is the first I heard of it. When I got my,
You ordered this?
I was like,
That
a little bit of
has been on the agenda item before, and you told me to bring it back to you all, it was some months ago, and I pulled it out, that I needed to shred company, because there's stuff that has to be.
Okay, that's right. Okay,
Yeah.
Right.
it's not a resolution, it's to, disapprove the shredding.
Well, I mean, the resolution that we approved.
Oh, yeah.
That, you just put a check for us, based on resolution.
So my, so why is there that many things to discuss?
Us going to a stretch company, because we had documents, people's social security number, things that need to be stretched. One more, yeah.
Because of the piece that you should do for that.
This is for one time, first is for one time. Second is to discuss the contract. To look at, I gave you that.
Okay, so we're back on F, right, 10F, to approve, disapprove shredding company for one-time on-site service fee of $135.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the one-time shredded fee for $135 to $165. Support.
It's been moved by Harmon and supported by Point.
bring all our papers and that. Or just
That price is just what's all in that corner.
Just asking for example, not historical value,
So you just know that much of that.
But a supervisor said make sure everything
I'm just, pay attention to this great.
Okay.
Owen,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Clark,
No.
Carmen, Reed,
Yes.
Brinkley, yes, motion carried.
Item number 10G.
We just discussed, order to create company for the town, for all the documents that we came off and the checks, and different things that have to be paid on a certain date and time, and we can't just put it in. So we do, they don't have like security to be taken, that's something just, yeah, you do, you got to.
Okay, trustees, item number, 11, trustees. 11A, approve compensation for trustee Ford as interim clerk in the 1 week in October 2013.
Madam Clerk, I would respectfully ask, one board member to table this item right here until I get to the figures and then I'll bring it back. Sir.
It's been moved by Harvey, supported by Owens, to table item number 11A.
All in favor? Aye. Nay, motion carried.
11B, approve, disapprove payment to trustee Ford for the loss at 8989 due to roof damage to personal property.
And Madam Chairman, also I did, in conversation with, communication with, Mr. Lee, he's in charge of the loss prevention, and sure, I'm waiting on some information to come back in regard to the check that was sent to, here, Madam, Treasurer did give everybody the information, so I'm waiting on some additional information to come in regard as to what that, check that was sent, what it could be used. I'm simply asking the board to also take them to the information to come, have everything ready.
It's been moved by, supported by Owens to table item 11B.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any nays? Motion carried.
Item number 11C, receive and file letter from Drain Commission.
And Madam Chair, again, this is, the work that was performed with the recreation bill in 2013. I had the opportunity, when I had locating them, this information, so I want to bring it back to the board, so we receive the following letter. Here's some department that did have concern on what was done there, so I'm just requesting that, receive the file this letter right here, and I will be, passing out some of this information to the department. This matter is on the receipt file for the work that was done over the recreation center.
May we have a motion to receive? Okay. All right, item number 11, D, to discuss the future of the school.
That's me, I just got a call and a notice yesterday. Okay, about, I wanna, discuss the closure of Grant School. I heard it's, they're trying to put in process to put another adult alternative school in Grant. I remember 10 years ago, well, approximately 10 years ago, when Ms. McIntyre, Mr. Bruce Edwards, and I, there was about 20 other citizens, we went to numerous, red shirts, numerous school board meetings, city council meetings, and everything about that, and we was there, we spoke highly of that, and we were sure that that would not happen here. And what I'm getting at, that it's gonna happen again. And, I have some real serious concerns, and I'm quite sure, doing citizens' comments, I'm glad we have a couple of, residents from the school district that say that they, elaborate on that if they can.
I like to say
But,
that.
I am totally against that, and I'm completely doing everything in my power to stop that. It's not a good situation at all for us, for our neighborhoods.
I would like to say, Mr. Marvin, I still have my red shirt, I have pants, get back out there, we were all in uniform, and we protested, and we was, like I said, about 20 of us, and we went to all the Ferndale board meetings, school meetings, we were in uniform, and that's what we have to do again, we'll do it again. You have to wait, excuse me, you have to wait. Okay, so, we're gonna get to this agenda. Okay, item number 11.
That's what I have to say.
To remove from the table item 5 for March 22nd.
That's, I'd like to remove item 5 from March 22nd, to approve, disapprove, a resolution to return the bill back to clerk reading. I had a conversation with the consultant about that, he agrees also, he showed me documentation from our attorneys ourselves, plus, the MCF law, where that is what we have, and it needs to be back to her. I wanted to look over to get it from her after, getting more information about what's going on. I was wrong, and I just go back to it.
Can we have a motion to remove from the table, item 5 of March 22nd? Move to remove from the table item 5 is the bill resolution, due March 22nd, 2014. It's been moved by, Reeves, support. It's been supported by Ford.
Owens,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Darby, Squad,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Rinkley, yes, motion carried.
Okay, item 11F, to approve or disapprove a resolution to return the mail back to the clerk. Resolution,
So, Joe, I passed everyone out of the resolution, it's the same one, the first one we had, well, I did show up and up. Anybody have any questions? Have you had a chance to look at it? Attorney Moore?
okay, board, you read the resolution, may we have a motion? To approve the resolution regarding mail protocol for the county council for mail. It's been moved by Reed, supported by Ford.
Owens,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Darby, Squad,
No.
Reed,
Yes.
Harvey,
Yes.
Rinkley, yes, motion carried.
Down to item number 12, attorney. Attorney Gary Martin.
Just be brief, as you know, last year, in the spring, we attempted to submit various deficit elimination plans to the state. Some of those plans or budgets contain projected monies that we are hopeful still that we can recover from MERS. Those plans, of course, were protected by Treasury as too speculative. In order that MERS is in the process and is completing their actual annual evaluations for 2013, I want to be very ready so that once we receive news of any final number or whether MERS we're entitled to any refunds under MERS, I want the board to be ready to receive those funds. To that end, we've been in touch with MERS over the last several months, and they suggested a resolution that would take the various divisions within MERS that we have and consider them, some may be high and some may be low. They want to consider those all in the aggregate so that when they do their computations, we can receive everything that may be available in excess of 130%. As you recall, last year we were not at that, we were at 126%. I think that the market's been good, so, but to do this, excluding the housing commission now, that's not involved here, we have 4 divisions, and they proposed, they submitted a resolution to be made up with, which says that each of those 4 divisions should be renumbered to at least have 130%, so that if we're in excess of 130 in one division and lower in another, it won't block us from recovering any monies. So this is like the first step.
Well, we have been within 130% more, but.
Well, we get 130% more in the housing commission, but that's not, we're not entitled to those funds. And in some divisions we've been higher, but overall we've been lower. And so the goal here is to simply say to the housing commission, to the MERS, whatever it is, if it's above 130, and in the aggregate, make all of them at least 130 so we can try and cover everything above that amount.
Maybe I'm confused. Okay, say you're at 130 in the house,
But then,
but not the other, then you wouldn't be able to.
housing is not, we can't consider
Okay,
housing
okay.
at all. Let's say police and, we closed divisions.
Right.
So if our closed divisions are open divisions, general, administrative, police, labor, clerical, these divisions are different. We want them all to at least be a baseline of 130 so that MERS can then say, all right, we get you a maximum amount. Otherwise, we're stuck with one division is high, okay, maybe there's something there for us this year, but if it's in the aggregate, we're still below 130. It's all academic, it doesn't make any difference. So this resolution is trying to basically hedge our bets here so that at such time as we get a final number out of MERS, and they're very close, okay, this is the time, they've generated our reports, but there's some discussion still. What I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm able to get this information, not have to wait 2 more weeks or a month to go through this process. Authorizing MERS to spread any increases beyond that 126% above 130. If you recall, MERS adopted a resolution because of the township situation several years ago. It used to be anything above 150% was recoverable by the municipality. After we covered that the first time, they changed the rules and raised it to 130%. We've been struggling to get up there based on the resolution. That sort of thing.
So that's what it was when we got it the first time.
Over 130, let's get it back down. Yeah, well, we can't fight their expertise, so that's all.
Okay, is there a reason why you just getting this early?
I got it today.
You got it there?
MERS. I asked MERS to look at this and send me whatever needs to be done.
It's just a percentage, Mr. Garcia.
No.
I'm concerned about it, because this is not even part of our next litigation plan, why are we considering this?
Well, first of all, it has nothing to do with the next litigation.
You talking about taking them out. taking excess funds, right?
I'm talking about trying to recover any excess funds occurred.
What is the purpose? What is the end goal of reallocating the funds? If we're overfunded, we withdraw the excess funds, right? Right. And what I'm asking is, what I'm saying, that's not part of our current adjustment mitigation thing, so why are we addressing this now?
We're addressing this now in order that we don't have to address it later if and when MERS comes back and says, hey, we've done our evaluation, you're overfunded and you're over 130%. I just noted the deficit elimination plan that we had early contemplated these monies that I thought we could recover, but they were speculative and uncertain. So I'm hoping that things are much better. We can take care of this business.
Me too, Mr. Harry Morgan. Thank you. Board, you have, heard Mr. Attorney Morgan.
All right, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the resolution requesting reallocation assessment rural assets.
It's been moved by Ford and supported by Owens for the, resolution requesting reallocation of assets per MERS.
No. This is excess according to MERS own actuaries.
Just like the stock market, this year we're overfunded, the next month, we may not be.
Our consistent pattern has been we've ramped up. Last year it was 126, before that it was 118. It's 115 because we brought it to 115.
With all due respect, this is a financial matter that we should be discussing with the people who are responsible for our finances. It's not an issue that has to be addressed today.
This is not a financial question. This is simply
It's a financial matter. It's a financial matter.
Do you want my opinion on that? Okay.
Board, you have this.
Accept that.
Accept the resolution.
Contingent on the, financial. It is still a negative, but that's what. Because I misunderstood.
Harvey.
Owen. Ford. Reed. No. I would like to make some management.
Yes.
I would like to make a matter of record with just the speakers at the meeting at 10:30, 6 people. The motion here.
And as you see, you certify that.
Yes, we are down to item number 12, 13, citizens' comments.
So I have a couple of questions. I submitted to the board a couple of letters. One was addressed to Mr. Ford, and another was addressed to Mr. Harris.
Step up to the podium.
Can't you hear me fine?
No, you should stand up to the podium.
Stand up. I do apologize, Jack. You guys, I submitted a letter to you guys. One was directed to Mr. Harris and another was to Mr. Ford. One that was to Mr. Harris was a notification of when I came into the building and saw that some emergency situations that needed to be addressed. My board, at our board meeting on this past Wednesday, actually
decided to receive, file a letter, and not do any action on the things that were emergency. There was a door, emergency exit door that was barricaded that needed to be barricaded, as well as there was a pipe broken from the upper bathroom on the second level that needs to be addressed. There is another leak that's outside, that's coming from the roof near the parking lot, and there's an opening of the building. And these are all safety and liability issues that can, the building is open for anyone to get into, as well as the fence. Those are things that needs to be immediately addressed. So I'm bringing it to this board because my board failed to act on it. And by there being water, that creates a structural problem. Okay? So I don't know what you guys want to do, but it was submitted to you guys. I've had it for over at least 10 days, at least to have to look at it. And as well, Mr. Ford, this is directed to you because you did attend my board meeting, and upon you attend my board meeting, this is some information that I've been asking about, which would be the work scope for the sinkhole in the parking lot, which you had informed me even at my board meeting that you would be providing me the next day, but yet I haven't gotten the information, so I was hoping that you have it today.
You will receive it when I bring it to your director or your president. He will be needing that information. If you recall, this board is not receiving file like that. Okay? I know I had mentioned to you at your meeting that I would have that information. However, some priorities came up. I had definitely felt it, and that was not my concern to go and get that information. But I do have that information now, and you will be receiving that information.
Mr. Ford, I remember distinctly talking, but I actually used to see it in the letter from Drain when they went there.
Right.
They said, I asked him, he said that it's not a sinkhole.
I have a documentation from the Water Commission Department, and the Water Drain Commissioner actually stated, because there was a lot of confusion about who did the work. There was work done. There was a payment paid. I actually have an invoice from the Water Commission saying that, hey, this is not a drain, you're not going to do it, but we will provide the work for you if you are going to pay for it. I didn't have an invoice saying that it was purchased and it was executed. I do know that the email that I received from Chuck Lorhorn from the Water Drain Commissioner stated that they didn't pay it, they wouldn't pay it because it doesn't belong to them unless they was going to be paid. So the biggest problem is that, I guess because I've been asking for this information since last year of October, and the biggest problem is who did the work. That's all I really want to know is who did the work, the work scope. Because one thing about it is, it's kind of linked up to the recreation center being closed, because that drain was supposed to be scoped and had a camera go down, because from prior to the McKinnon report, it said that sinkhole sewage could be causing the structure damage underneath the building. And that's why it was to be looked at and scoped. We came to this board, guys agreed upon that. Now, whatever happened from that point on, a toilet was scoped, and the drain was never scoped. The toilet came back clear. We didn't want the toilet scoped. I don't know why the toilet was scoped, but it was scoped. But the drain came back clear on the toilet, which, like I said, it wasn't a toilet problem, it was a sewer problem that should have been scoped and counted. Also, I want to go on to say our grass looks horrible. I've been watching for 2 weeks them cut on our line. Have not completed the line work yet. So I don't think it would be, and so I guess the question that I hold with is, if he's a DPS worker, DPW worker, and he works for the township, how does he work for me and my board and get paid? Does he get paid for you and me, and then does he do your shift and me together? How does that work? Can you break that down for me? Because I'm having some understanding problems today.
Before you break it down, Paul, now let me just clear this up one more time, because it seems like Commissioner Anderson is not understanding. First of all, the protocol that she went through, and I explained to them that was not the right thing that she supposed to have done. The Oakland County Drain Commission, which everybody has the information on what was done. Everybody had the information on what was done. I pretty much explained it to her. and to the commissioners there. Again, let me explain to you. You will be receiving that information. The information that you talk about sinkhole, the parking lot area is not considered as a sinkhole. It was a liability, which that was something that had to be taken care of prior to you coming into office. The money did not come from Park and Recreation. The money came out of our sewer fund for repairs there at Park and Recreation. When you get that information, you will see. If you got any question, all you have to do is just call in.
Okay, Mr. Ford, I have a letter here stating
I don't interrupt you, so don't interrupt me.
We're gonna not.
I have a letter stating here from May the 19th, from 2013. Ms. Excuse me, I have waited to the end, and I have waited to the end, and I'm responding. First of all, the general public needs to know that that's not true. Number one, we had a inspection done on May 10, 2013, and just from that one alone, it says, in the damaged building is significant enough to warrant the closing of the building, I would recommend additional inspection by a structural engineer. I can recommend 2 structural engineers that would accept, because it definitely means it says the only exterior notice the area around the storm drain located in front of the building is sinking, and it may be possible that the storm or sewer drain are collapsing and causing a sinkhole underneath the structure. So that's what I'm talking about, is the structure sinkhole and the sewer sinkhole. So my question is, not only is that, but I told you about some leaks and emergency situations. Are you all going to address that, or are you not going to address that?
Ms. Anderson, just tonight, the consultant was here. For any issues that this board has not been able to resolve, tonight appointed him. You need to have a conversation with him.
And this is the thing, Ms. Reeves. I did talk to them, and I was told to come to you all and see what you all would do. I didn't know the consultant would be leaving so soon, so I'm coming to you all. Everything that I'm doing is protocol right about now. So everything that I'm coming to you all, I'm trying to do appropriately. I'm giving and submitting paperwork to you all. I haven't heard you guys mention anything or put it on your agenda tonight, so that's why I'm bringing it up, as well as that.
He not, he can use his emergency management power to resolve.
Okay.
Why are you by yourself? Your department missions are with you.
You have to ask. First of all, do you see any of them in the audience today?
Never, they're never around.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Anderson. Any other?
I got one more thing, Madam Chair. I know you're concerned about Parks and Rec, but you got the trees over there in McEnroe Park falling on the playground.
It's not about just the trees. It's about the swings too that's over at Mac. It's a lot of stuff that's a safety hazard. But it seems like no one is concerned about the safety hazard.
You have 2 or 3 other citizens tonight who would like to say, excuse me.
Well, he was asking questions.
Okay, all right.
Good evening, everyone. Or tell the citizens late, so it'll be really quick. I just want to address some of the comments that Mr. Burgess had made in respect to the Michigan State Police. I didn't want to interrupt the protocol of the meeting here when he had made the statements, but just to assure the citizenry, we are not going anywhere as far as the Michigan State Police. I'm the commander of the township of Royal Oak, as well as several other places. Matter of fact, after he made the statement, I went out in the hallway and called up to Lansing. Maybe there was something I didn't know. And so we have a meeting at the Michigan State Police with Treasury on next week, so I'm sure that will be addressed. But no entity in the state of Michigan can make decisions for the Michigan departments. We are the Michigan Department of State Police. If it doesn't come from Governor Snyder's office, then you just take it with a grain of sand. We will be here until you get a plan in place, and then we will be here until that plan is able to be enacted. We don't have a sparse amount of resources. Our troopers will be here. We'll have the same number of troopers here. We'll continue to do the job that's needed to be done here until such time is warranted that you no longer need our services. So I just want to assure the citizens that when we go home wondering come September 1st, it's a new date I just heard. The only thing I know about September 1st was the Indian barbecue because it's real close to Labor Day. But outside of that,
Thank you.
guess address my question, and I don't want to argue to trustee on Hart. I want to talk about the lawnmower contract I just did with DPW. Just, this is my personal opinion, and I'm not God, I don't know everything, but you know, with the lawnmower, if they walk the area, they're gonna cut before they cut. And they're not cutting steel and glass and stuff. Lawnmower go a lot further. And they last a lot longer. Number two, I don't understand this 8 hours a week for recreational microdynamic. If it takes 6 hours to cut the grass, it takes 6 hours. If it's extremely bad, it takes 12 hours, it takes 12 hours. But you shouldn't have them over there doing other stuff when you've got Ms. Fuller and them calling the township asking about the vacant lot down the street for them. So, I mean, you know, give them what they need to do, cut grass cut. But that's it. Everything else, they gotta make. You know, like I said, that's my own personal opinion. The other thing is, you just put grounds on 5 days. And for the last month, I've been watching people on my street to take after 5 o'clock on Thursday and put bathtub, toilet, all kind of stuff out on the curb because they know the garbage man doesn't get Friday morning before the code enforcement officer come back Monday. So maybe y'all need to look at putting her on 5 days a week too. But even if she stayed on 4 days, there's a house right next door to Mr. Dunn that the grass is about this high up front, not the back. So maybe she can make that okay. The other question I had was, just looking at this budget, I hope this isn't an idea of our monthly costs, because 2 attorneys, we can be paying about $120,000 a year in legal costs. That's about. The other thing I want to address, and I'm putting the horse, the cart before the horse. I heard Mr. Arbor talking about Ferndale schools. I know you're board members, but I want y'all to know that years ago, Mr. Ford, you should remember, Mr. Herman, you should remember, they had the school over here at the recreation center. Ferndale came in, they went up there and did work on the classrooms. We wound up having the kids up in the co-op, turning tricks in the parking lot, using drugs, disrespecting our seniors, and we got together and we insisted that Ferndale take that alternative school out of the rec center. What we got in return for that was they came in there and took everything they did, including taking the doorknob off the door. I mean, really did. They took the doorknobs off the door after taking the old doorknobs, replaced them, and throwing them away. So we had a room we couldn't even get into. So when Ferndale was talking about putting something like that over here, we got a lot of seniors living around here, just like I didn't want it a block from my house here. I don't think the seniors over here need to have it a block from my house. Thank you.
Okay, just a couple more, please. We're almost 11 o'clock. I'm going to say the way I want to give everybody a chance. Okay, keep it short.
Say your name and your title.
Hi, all again, Kevin D. Krause, from school board, and
Karen Toomey.
Also on the board, so.
Secretary of the board.
Right. So, a couple of things, I come here normally, you're pretty good news. And we also have some good news today, so, but I'm gonna hold on to you. The easy things, so here's the good news and very bad. So, I'm gonna start with what's come up. It's important, it's one of the reasons why we're doing that. So I wanna let you know, there are no plans to close the school here. There are no plans to put an alternative school here and so on. We have to look at our Here's why I want to talk. At the administrative level, there was a list of 4 options about how to restructure the facilities that we've got. One of those options, the 4th one, at the bottom of the list, so the least likely, the least interesting, but one that was on the list, but it hasn't been considered by the board, it hasn't even been done by the administration, that's why we're here, is to put not the alternative bed, but the adult bed, which is a very different population, very different. So that was at the bottom of the list. That's all it is. It's a list right now, and this is the least likely of the 4. So we want to come here and say, first of all, we are not going to do anything without talking to you. You know, I've been here every month, and you know where I live, and you know you can go after it. It's not the old world where we're going to do stuff, and it's going to be done to you. When we ran, we promised we would do stuff with you, and we are going to do stuff with you. If this became financially necessary, we're going to work it through and we're going to talk. We're not going to throw anything at you by surprise. This was on the administrative list, and unfortunately, your meeting was a couple days after the list, and we would have done it the other way. So just know that nobody's trying to spray anything, nobody's trying to do anything. And Karen actually has some direct experience with this.
I don't know if you guys remember my face, but 10 years ago when you were discussing, my little son was actually going to school right here in this building, and I was the little frizzy-haired white girl sitting next to you in St. John Public School. So I have some very personal experience with this, and I know that at that time I heard the values of this community, and that's something that, you know, obviously the education, the facility needs, everything else has to be taken into account, but something that really has to be taken into account is the values of the community. So that will definitely be a part of that conversation.
So we've got this list, we're working through the facility stuff. Nothing will happen without talking. You got members of the strategic planning committee, you got elected officials. So we promise fully engaged, fully involved in this. Anything that makes it look like anything's going to change in the short term, we're going to let you know. In the long term, this is something you've got to think about. In the long term, you may all know that one of the plans we've got is to restructure our elementaries. Right now we have one elementary Kennedy, it's K through 6. One elementary at Roosevelt, it's a K through kindergarten through 3, and then the school that's 4 through 6. In the strategic plan process that this gives you an important part of, one of the important decisions that we made was to change that so that we've got 3 programs that are all kindergarten through 5th grade. Kindergarten through 5th grade, the 6th graders would move to the high school, middle school, where there is space now. And so we would have 3 equal programs that each had a different kind of spin or emphasis, so each would do a different kind of thing. As part of that, we have talked about, this is long run, building the preschool into those schools so that those kids have a program that they follow through all the way. In order to keep retention, keep kids in the district, all kids in the district, to integrate, we will have room there, to integrate the preschools with the kindergarten through. If that's part of it, then we're going to have to think about what we're going to do, because some of those preschool kids were here and Head Start kids and so on might be over there. But again, this is a long-term thing, and this is not something we're going to do without talking to this community. That day, we promise you, that day is over. We are here every month, you know how to find us, and you know how to tell us when we're steps, like we just did with Charlie. So know that we understand, you've been here and done this, so we understand, and we're gonna work on it. So our next step is in facilities and operations to take a look at those various plans. Our hope is to find something that works without it, but no, first of all, no alternative school was ever on the list for going in here. At best, it was the adult education program, and then it's 4th on the list, not first, not second, not third. So we're going to try out all 3 of those others.
So why were you considering that? Is it with, you guys are short on money? Or
it's a short. I mean, right now we're looking. So part of the bigger story of this, and this is where I was going to come to the call. So you may know that in March, our superintendent Gary Meyer announced his retirement. He was going to retire at the end of the year. For complicated reasons that we don't fully understand, it became apparent that the superintendent, before his retirement, was running a charter school management company separate to what he was doing in the district. raised that question with him. And it doesn't look like there are any laws broken or anything, but it was felt that this was not consistent, that having a charter school management company and a public school manager was not. He chose, instead of stopping that behavior, to withdraw his employment and to leave right away. The great news is we had already started a process for replacing him, so we weren't caught unaware. We were just caught for 2 months without a superintendent. The problem, however, is that the revenue assumptions that were left by the previous administration, when the new folks came in from open schools, weren't realistic. Now, that's some of our responsibility, because we were supposed to look and see how realistic were those, and we were assured they were realistic opportunities. The people coming in from open schools said no. And so they have encouraged us to look at some consolidated. So that's what's bringing this up. Part of that is the new university middle school that we're hoping to open, which could shore up, provide a great feeder school and increase middle school, or the high school. That university high school has been fantastic. We've done an amazing thing. And Mr. Meyer, whatever else you think, created a program that is really good. Middle school is a continuation of that. But it raises some space problems and some facilities problems. So that's why we're relooking at this. That just started a week and a half ago, which is why I just came to you, and so we didn't have a chance to get to you all at this meeting before that was discussed. So if it seemed like it caught you off guard, it was just because of the difference in the time. Sorry. I know, and I'm like.
I just want to ask, what is the difference between adult ed and
Okay, so, yeah, here, she's an educator,
So it has to do a lot with the age and the time and way that they exited their prior school.
what's the age?
And so you're looking at adults who are 18 and older. We're usually looking at a much wider range of adults. And as somebody who's been attending the adult ed graduations for several years now, I think this was my 6th year attending that, you're looking at a lot of people who are already starting their lives and trying to go back for their GEDs, diplomas, things like that. So it tends to be a less lively group of people.
And alternative education, what's the age limit? What's the age qualification?
19.
So, alternative education, you have to be 19.
No, less than 19. It's a maximum. That's a maximum.
Oh, it's hot.
Yeah. That's where the digital learning center is, and that's the alternative education program our supervisor is referencing.
and that program was never, no one ever thought about putting that program. So it's the adult ed, it's the more mature, the grown-ups, it's pretty amazing people, but we had everybody from 22 to 58 in that program. So it's a different demographic of people who are looking for that final credential.
There are other ways to mobilize their lives and careers and pathways. So I know that the climate of this building is important to the community. And so that's something that will have to be respectful of the climate.
So, and I know you got meetings with
It's actually the program that's right at Jefferson. So
yeah.
if you don't see any running behavior at Jefferson, that's fine. Jefferson down
Jefferson just down
How
by
did you know
12.
that there was a program?
Yeah, that's the good.
Yes.
So, but we'll have to see. But that was the only thing that was good. So just know that we're not good. So last two bits of good news. First is
And we don't take any doorknobs, I promise. That's a terrible story.
yeah, that's right. We were down to 2 finals for the superintendent. One was Jennifer Martin Green, who's at the Westwood Schools within Ypsilanti. And she interviewed tonight, and she did a whole day-long interview. And the other is a man named Blake Pruitt, and he's deputy superintendent of the Armada Schools, and he's going to interview tomorrow. So if you're interested in seeing that interview, we'll be at the Harding Administration Building at 6:30. You're welcome to come, ask hard questions, and so on. So we'll be doing site visits after that to make sure that everything's on the up and up, these people are responsible. And hopefully by the middle of next week, we will have a new superintendent.
And one last great thing about these two people, I want you to know that there were a whole lot of factors, mainly looking at, administration and education. However, there was another factor we were looking heavily for, and both of the people we're interviewing are extremely experienced at bringing in new partnerships, new resources. So we're really looking at growing again. So it's gonna be another hard year, but then I want you to hold on tight because we're about to go places.
I did have one question. I did have one question for Karen, if you don't mind. During the summer, we had a program going on. I did have a question that I didn't quite get answered, and at that time, Little Eagles was on the other side of Ferndale, and I was wondering about if you got Little Eagle over there and you've got the Grant preschool over here, does all this mean that we're no longer gonna have preschool? The district is gonna like dissolve the preschool because they're looking at putting some more money by having other programs here other than the preschool program? Because you can't have adults with senior and all of that if you got preschool.
The Little Eagle was an additional program. What Ferndale's unusual is that we don't offer tuition-based preschool.
So actually, if you don't qualify for the grant programs, there's no programs available for the.
So what I'm saying is Ferndale
So
had two preschool programs, one here and one there.
Right.
So that one will still be there. Will this
not
one still
necessarily,
be?
that's all in the study.
It's all in the
Locations
study? Because that was my main question. Are we moving towards getting rid of the preschool program that is here?
We're looking at developing inclusive programs for the entire body of the serve.
So, I mean, the one plan is looking at seeing about whether it would be good, we haven't any said it would be good to integrate those preschool programs into the kindergarten through 5. That's the question.
Can I make a suggestion? I think they want to come out with a meeting. Why don't we make ourselves available at the back of the room?
Can I tell you one other piece of good news?
Because I don't want to derail this meeting.
No, but I have a question to say about the Little Eagles over in Harvey. And they said they're gonna start, 2 more programs over there.
It would be an expansion and a modification.
Yeah, conference or something else.
What we were finding is there were a lot of staff members and younger siblings to other students we were serving that needed a place for the younger children. And so again, we're really just working to become a full family service district and to be as inclusive as possible.
Excuse me.
We can talk to the back.
Thank you so much.
Last bit of good news, just so you know.
We need good news.
Yesterday, the operations committee voted to resurface not only that parking lot, but that one.
So,
We've been informed, but when the operations committee does something, we usually do it. We talked about that, we knew how important that was, and so that one should be resurfaced as well. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to us, sorry to derail the meeting.
And everybody has Kevin's card here, right? Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I would like to applaud again. You guys go back 5 days. That's just amazing, right? Louis pretty much touched on just about everything I want to. I'm in total agreement with you on the maintenance of equipment. And I question the scheduling of work before you said all of that falls. So you're gonna have to really start getting around and checking on your work. I took some pictures. Unfortunately, my printer, my keyboard froze, so I wasn't able to print some pictures. Rosewood leading into Wyoming. The sign says, welcome to Royal Township, we're up and coming. Has anybody rolled by already? Saw it today? Okay. You need to get out and check on how the workers are performing duties. There's grass out in the street, you know, from them cutting. And I know that they use whatever they can to cut grass. But even when they have equipment working at its fullest, it's the same thing. You know, I watched those firewood and it was altogether different when they cut grass. They leave just a little in the street. And it looks bad. So, do they have a schedule? Because how many employees do we have? About 100 employees?
We
over 100 and.
You only got 2 guys.
Yes.
And then you got 1 guy that's only working part-time. So that's not gonna, I don't see that flying. I mean, what do they cut, once every month?
No, there's supposed to be something like that. But, as I said, the equipment was down.
No, but I mean, even when the equipment is up, it's
Yes,
not getting
yes,
cut.
yes.
I think that the board should entertain outsourcing that, some parts of it. You know, maintenance costs alone is sky high with the equipment. Maintenance, gas, you know, I never hear you discussing that.
We discussed this, I said it has been discussed with the consultant
Or the consultant. But I mean, why is the board doing it?
but we have discussed it. You know, we just, all right, as a given.
You had to wait for somebody to come in from outside.
No, my thing is,
Well, I've been requesting going back to 5 days for about 5 years.
I would rather us employ our youth and give them the summer job, helping clean these lots, than outsourcing to somebody we don't know, because, you know, these kids need money too. And if we don't give them an opportunity to earn a decent living and money, then what they gonna do, sell drugs?
Yeah. That's something to look
I'm just
into.
saying, they might consider that.
But I mean, as far as hiring some kids part-time to help out.
Right, and I talked to Trustee Ford about us hiring some part-time kids, right? They could go to the lots before they come to cut them, police the lots, make sure all of the stuff is up, so when they come, all they have to do is cut the equipment. Right.
So is the board gonna entertain that?
Yeah.
It's a shame you had to wait till somebody from the state camp to come down.
Thank you.
Yeah, you.
Hi, once again, I'm speaking from behalf of Friends of Royal Oak Township, which is a community organization. And I'm speaking once again regarding converting Grant Early Childhood Center into an adult age population. Prior to the Ferndale board coming, I made a statement, and I shared that with the Royal Oak Township board. But I'm just going to share some excerpts with you all from that, and then I have some questions as well in regards to that. So, the Friends of Royal Oak Township does not support the action of converting Grant Early Childhood Center into an adult population. We understand that this is could be an economic issue for Ferndale School District. However, we believe that both qualitatively and quantitatively, those facts need to be considered as it relates to our children. Grant Elementary is a community institution which became part of Ferndale School in 1926 and is a historical school building. Royal Oak Charter Township is a historically black community, and we have an obligation to preserve this legacy for our founders. Now, you spoke about, you have 4 options. And you spoke about the last option, saying that closing Grant is on the 4th option. But let me back up a minute, because you also spoke that you maybe down the long run would be closing the buildings or entertaining 3 K through 8 schools. Okay. K through 5. School-age schools. Schools which are located which feed the Pleasant Ridge community, which is located Roosevelt, Pleasant Ridge, which feeds the Ferndale community, which is Coolidge, and Oak Park, which is in Oak Park, but feeds the Ferndale community. We're Royal Oak Township community, and we've been feeding children into the Ferndale Public School since 1926. So, where do we get consideration to keep our school-age building as well as the rest of the schools who are feeding into the Farmville School District. So the next question I have, you were at liberty to speak about the fourth option, or you at liberty to speak about the other three options? Because from an adult population, and Taft being alternative ed, it's room in Taft to put the adult population in there. So why would you displace our children to put adults here and you have adults, young teenagers at Taft and room to put them there. So the question I'm asking you is, what are your other options? And please consider what you're doing to our community, because this is a community institution which we all value. It has brought notable people out of the community, and it's really disheartening to hear this, and for the community not to have had any public hearings, to hear word of mouth, to hear hearsay. That's really disheartening when we have supported Roanoke Township, members of Roanoke Township have supported the new administration, and then it seems as that the new administration said, well, we hear you, we're going to talk with you, and we're going to share with you, but we still may put an adult over here, but they're not the bad adults, they're the older adults. No, we want our children here. We don't want any adults here. It's a children institution, and that's Friends of Roanoke Township's stance.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
But are you guys at liberty to speak about the other three options that you have?
I was just talking about myself. I wasn't trying to take place.
Ms. West, thank you.
Hello, everyone. I just want to talk about the DPW working 5 days a week. I kind of disagree with that. I mean, I want them to work, but I want to know, once again, to bring it up,
with you so that we can keep talking.
who are they going to be?
We're trying to
Are they
make
going to
it
be
with you so we can
accountable
keep
to
talking in the hall.
someone?
Okay.
And is it really going to matter? Because when you see them spending 8 hours cutting one lawn, and we have like 150 lots, you just, I want to know, where's it going to take? Are you giving like, okay, you got 5 hours to cut this lot. We got 3 hours to do this, because we're like somewhat cash strapped. So I don't need anybody sitting on a lawn for 5 hours cutting one grass. I mean, we may love whoever may be doing the lawn, Michael, whomever. But I just think that when it comes to community, there could be more done in a timely manner. Also, once that's pretty much done, I would like to know how are these other lots, I don't care who owns them, we own it right now. Who's going to take care of those lots? Are they going to be a priority? And I also want to know, is the code enforcer going to oversee the businesses on 8 Mile, because it's hot mess up there. I'm just concerned of how we look from the outside. We have wonderful people that live here, but I think we should be shown on the outside coming into our community. And I don't see that. Another thing, I just want to pretty much know, because we keep visiting this conversation and nothing, I mean, I'm not convinced that nothing's happening, okay? So, can someone at least answer the question, enlighten me, because I am a citizen.
As far as being accountable, I did tell the DPW that in 5 days, they have to turn in their log sheets on what they've done. And I will have to ride around with birds, and I will ride around the township. And if this doesn't work, there's going to have to be alternatives.
Okay.
Time to do is to prove themselves.
Now, I have a suggestion. They may work 8 to 5 per day, 9 to 5, whatever. Why aren't their shifts staggered? So when somebody's at work maybe from 8 to 5, somebody else is coming at 12. So there is an issue. And then what constitutes as full time? Is it 32 hours, 36 hours? We need to look at this stuff. Because some things, if they're not getting a whole lot done in 40 hours, then maybe, hey, then we should be doing something else.
Everybody
home.
Thank you.
This phone. And there are two guys out here working, okay? And I feel that these lots are large, very large. What you need to do, you need more people.
Right.
When you try to work two people to death, to have 150 lawns. Those lawns are long, the lots are very, very wide and long. Then again, there's not grass, debris in there. And because I hear people mow the lawn, they clump, 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 clump. They're running over bricks, they're running over, not our guys, but I mean, rocks and everything else. So I just feel that we need more people to work out here. Two guys, you're killing folks. And then the other day, we were passing out other stuff. So you can't do everything. So I applaud Michael Dunlap and Mr. Owen, for whatever they're doing. My thing is, these houses, all of that, burn out house, across the corner, vacant house, right across the street, cars all in the back where folks that grass high as me. Then there's another house, there's another burned out house. Then down the street there, I've said this time and time again, this house, now the garage is falling down. Garbage and debris all in the driveway. And I just don't understand. I mean, this place, something in this house, running down these streets and seeing all this rubbish, this code enforcer, I don't know what's going on. But these citizens out here in these houses, all these owners, they have these burned out houses, something needs to be done. They're going to be torn down before we start finding bodies. And then, well, it's a good thing because out here, we don't do like folk in other places. We don't go and break in and steal out the toilets and whatever. The houses are more or less, in place, intact. But something needs to, but I don't want to. Every time I turn around, I have a company coming in, all these burned out houses and vacant houses and cars in the back. It's embarrassing. And all I say is something needs to be done to make this township beautiful. Because it should be a beautiful place out here. It can be like it was before. And when all the other people died and left their property to the kids, they pulled the money out of the houses, then lost the houses, and then people buy them and rent them out to anybody. I don't know how many people I've had across the street for me to come in there and leave. So thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Love you all.
I just got this question. They would have kept the board. The vacant lots, how can you sell? I mean, Warren, Michigan is giving 7 lots for $1 to the person stay next to them. And then that brings in tax money. And then why can't you get the Oakland County to let you have some of the young people in juvenile to come and help clean up this area and stuff like that? Have somebody over there. You don't have to hire nobody. You got people sitting up in jail that we paying for them to sit there and eat, play basketball, and put them to work. They can clean up their own, clean up the neighborhood, clean up these streets and in the alleys and stuff. Get some swing blades where they can cut that grass and get some vines off the land. Clean up the neighborhood. Maybe they'll help. But I'm just saying, we got all these vacant lots. Sell them, let somebody help. Didn't they just have to cut? You know what I mean? Thank you.
Thank you. It's been moved by, Margaret, that's like, adjournment time is 11:28 p.m.
Their salaries, they all get paid money. They need to be fired. All those guys.